embedded in our society's identity. But then again, can you tell me that's free? They explain to you what your mind should perceive, suggest things they want you to believe, like your skin color dictates your race. They're calling you an idiot to your face, like life is much more simple than that. We're all slaves and the cards are stacked, while we fight over problems we can fix. Industrialists turn our kids to addicts. The television does a job, introduce you. The radio's right there to seduce you, keep you locked on the wrong damn track. Cigarettes is just legalized crack. They want you to catch a damn heart attack. They want you to catch a damn heart attack. But stop believing in the flag, it's a trap. Cause men rule this world, that's a fact. They don't know, but I'm gonna make it right tonight. They don't lie, but I'm gonna say it like I know. They don't know, that I'm gonna hit them with the shit. They don't lie, that you're gonna free your mind tonight. 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 If you see a man that needs help, then help a brother. If you see a sister on her own, still love her. Cause life is about how you choose to see it. But you gotta teach people how to learn to see it. The planet's been through suffering many times. We propagate many wars many times. The people need to wake up and stop accepting deceit from their own government's deception. You can't blame the people for needing protection from the government's bad reputation. We need to sing a song called Free the Nation. Cause we done had a whole lot of separation. Racism, classism, nationalism, based on keeping people out on the plantation. That's the plan, no doubt. Cause rich people got a plan, no doubt. If you still don't understand and believe that we are all one from the same mother, and respect each woman and man with the same consideration you would like to be given on a daily, then you need to retire so the new generation can take over and show you how to live and govern this place we call Earth home.
Everybody here, yeah.
Check it out. They don't know, kid. They don't know. But I'm gonna make it right tonight. They don't lie. But I'm gonna say it like I know. They don't know. That I'm gonna hit them with the shit. They don't lie.
Check. All right. It is May 15th, Friday, May 15th, 0842 Central European Time. That makes it 0242 Eastern Standard Time in the Americas. What's up, everybody on the Atlantic? What's up, everybody on the Pacific, too, and everybody in the Indian Ocean and just everywhere across the world that may be tuning in. You know what I'm saying? We're all the same, by the way. We're all the same. But people on Earth have had an issue with politicians and freedom. Really, freedom. The right to have some say in societies. You know, it's a constant theme. And it looks a little different across the globe depending on where you are. But you know, in the part of the world I live, democracy is being challenged daily. You know, it's being challenged daily. And my home country, the United States of America, although I live in Copenhagen, Denmark, my home country, United States of America, where, both sides of my family are from, they go back to the colonial period in the United States. My country has really, really been struggling with democracy for some time. The whole time it's been struggling to define itself even as a democracy. I mean, you even have right-wing people, Trump supporters, MAGA people. Their talking point is, when you say it's a democracy, they say it's a republic. That's the new thing. That's the new thing to say. It's a republic, because that tells you that they don't believe in anybody's right to vote. And that's a constant theme in MAGA. Of course, anybody except white men, white Christian men, you guys are free to vote. You guys are free to vote. You're free to own property. You're free to lead in every position. And but when it comes to other people, it's like a debate, a question mark. Did the Constitution really intend on that? I mean, and this is the real. This is 2026. United States is the only country that's debating whether its inhabitants should have the right to vote in the Western world. It calls itself a democracy. I guess they don't want it to be a democracy anymore. Maybe these trolls are right. It's a republic. Maybe that's it. Maybe the U.S. isn't a democracy. Maybe that's what it is. And maybe people have been confused because they've been thinking it's a democracy. They've been acting like it is. They've been making people fill out papers and shit like this to go and vote. And all the time, it's not a democracy. Is that what's going on here? I mean, your guess is not as good as mine, because I was about to say is as good as mine. But if you're listening, 80% of my people that listen to me, yeah, your guess is as good as mine. But there's a minority there that no, I'm sure your guess is going to be some shit like Donald Trump. He's my daddy. I'll do anything to make you happy. I mean, that's not it. That's nothing like what I'm thinking. You see what I mean? And if your brain told you, I know what I want, then no, my brain's nothing like yours either. Sorry. We two different types of Americans, distinctly different. One of us believe and know all inhabitants have the fucking right to vote and should be voting. Okay. I'm on that side of the American equation. Okay. You might be on the side that is like, in some sort of fucking denial about every goddamn thing. Like just complete, utter fucking denial. I mean, denial that could only intellectually, really, if we're going to get intellectual about this, and this is an intellectual program, we think over here, that's why I said, except the 10%. But if you want to, have a intellectual interpretation of what the MAGA thinks, about democracy, well, here it is. I'm going to tell you what they do.
Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy. Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy.
This is what they mean when they say it's not a democracy, it's a republic. This is what they mean. This is what they mean when they say women ain't supposed to have a vote. This is what they mean. That's exactly what they mean. Yeah. And here's the anthem. This is the anthem of that.
You are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy. Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy. Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy. Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy. Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy.
Yeah, that's what they mean when they say it's not a democracy, it's a republic. That's the theme song to the "This is not a democracy, it's a republic." That's exactly what that song is called. Donald Trump, you're my daddy. That's the refrain. That's the hook, the chorus, right? The bridge, if you will. I hate to hear if that's the bridge. I would hate to hear the hook, or either way around. It's like it only gets worse. It only gets worse. You know what I'm saying? What's the song? You're not supposed to vote, nigga. You're not here to vote, nigga. Fuck you, women. Okay, women weren't in the Constitution. You're not allowed to vote. Boom. Donald Trump, you're my daddy. Literally, this is their own words. It's their own words. It's not mine. It's their own words. And thank God they speak at least English. So I fucking understand what they're saying. You heard it right. They said, Donald Trump, you're my daddy. I'll do anything to make you happy. That's exactly what they said. And this is also in American English. This is in American English. So you cannot miss it if you speak American English. Now, let me see here. Let's get on to the next one. There's more English.
Think about the rights of women and black men in America. Here's what they had to say.
The Founding Fathers restricted voting rights for vast majorities of people, including women. The women didn't receive the right to vote until the 19th Amendment.
And then we fixed that.
I don't think that was a good thing.
You don't think so?
I don't think it was a good thing. I believe
the 19th Amendment?
Yeah. Every person, women, men, black, white, whatever, has equal dignity under the law and before God. That doesn't mean they'll have the same roles and should have the same influence in a society.
So who should have influence in our society?
Christian leaders.
White Christian men. I mean, listen, hide your kids from people like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they don't believe in anyone having any representation, not even their own wives, not even their own daughters. So if they don't believe in their own daughters and wives having representation, what do you think they think about you and anybody else? Hide your kids. Hide your kids. It is what it is. And it is true. They went out there and they created a fucking theme song. And the theme song it fits perfectly to what they stand for, but it's even more a real representation, because it speaks for who they really are up in the brain, up in the brain when it comes to American history, when it comes to real life, when it comes to global history, when it comes to the history of mankind. They're soft marshmallows.
Yeah, I do anything to make you happy. What is that? Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy.
They are soft marshmallows in the head, ignorant. They do not know the Constitution. They don't make statements that reveal they know anything about the Constitution, except some little, they don't read it. They just take a little copy paste part out, take it out of context and put it up here and shit. And then they reform the whole context around that little statement. And then when you go back and you read the Constitution, you're like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Do they not read? And it is true. It is true. You hearing it. This is their voices. This is their voices, This is who they are. And then these people that don't believe anyone else should vote, should have a vote, right? Should be able to lead. Listen to this again. Just peep this. This is how bonkers. They want you to follow them. You will go insane. You will go insane trying to follow them. Listen to this again. Listen to this.
And the biggest supporters of Project 2025 think about the rights of women and black men in America. Here's what they had to say.
The Founding Fathers restricted voting rights for vast majorities of people, including women. The women didn't receive the right to vote until the 19th Amendment.
And then we fixed that.
I don't think that was a good thing.
You don't think so?
I don't think it was a good thing. I believe
the 19th Amendment?
Yeah. Every person, women, men, black, white, whatever, has equal dignity under the law and before God. That doesn't mean they'll have the same roles and should have the same influence in a society.
So who should have influence in our society?
Christian leaders.
White Christian.
White Christian men.
Right. So there you have it. White Christian men, right? And that's their belief, right? But then
Loyalists and the biggest.
Sorry. But then to hustle people, then they have Trump saying the exact opposite to black folk, and they have some ignorant ass black folk that just believe him and eat it up and cherish him the same way. So don't racialize it. I'm only speaking about race and gender because these people are bigots. If they weren't bigots, there would be nothing to talk about. But this is Trump's attempt at this is Trump. You heard the MAGA supporter, the Trump supporter, saying only white Christian men should be able to vote, should have representation, and not even women, not even their daughters, their wives, their sisters. their aunties, their grandmothers. None of that. None of that. Now here's Trump talking to the black community, right? This is his words.
Appreciate it. We love you. We love you. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm honored to welcome everybody and these incredibly talented and unbelievable, patriotic young American leaders. You're going to be the leaders somebody I would be almost willing to bet, maybe even willing to bet, somebody in that audience right here, right in front of me, is going to be standing here someday. I think so. You've got a good shot. You're going to have a good shot. You've done incredible work to get to this position, and I have tremendous respect for it. We're glad to be joined by our terrific Vice President, Mike Pence. And many of our cabinet members are here. They wanted to be here. I told a couple of them, don't have to. Don't worry about it. What the heck? These are my friends. They said, no, we want to be here. So we have a lot of our cabinet members here. And to every young person, you represent America's future. You are the best and the brightest, the bravest and boldest. And someday you are going to be setting records like nobody before.
He's talking to black Americans.
I know where it's at. I know where energy is, and you have the energy like very few people have the energy. So I just want to tell you, get out there. Prove me right, please, okay? Prove me right. I have no doubt you will. Each of you has come to Washington for the...
He's talking to a room full of African Americans, while his supporter is like African Americans shouldn't vote at all, and women shouldn't vote. Even white women shouldn't vote. I mean, so, you know, what do you call that? A total hypocrite, right?
Black Leadership Summit, because you have what it takes to achieve real change on your campuses and in your communities, and that's what you've been doing, and that's actually why you're here. You speak out for the values and principles that have made America the most exceptional nation anywhere on earth, and I will say this to...
But he's not saying that now. I mean, he got elected a second time. This is his first time. This is October what? 4th, 2019. When he gets elected his second time, he decimates and attacks purely, you know, because they say in the second term you find out who a president really is, right? Because they basically are free from another election. So they begin to behave like they don't have to win a second election. So this is Trump in his first election, kissing ass to black people, praising them, kissing ass to African Americans, specifically praising them, openly praising them. And let's listen to more of his comments.
Today is greater than it ever was before. Our military, our economy. African Americans built this nation. You built this nation. You know, you're just starting to get real credit for that. Okay, I don't know if you know that. You're just starting to you built the nation. We all built it.
You see?
But you were such a massive part of it.
Right. So you see, basically, what I'm telling you is this. Even if you're a white supremacist, you need to understand that Trump is a total fucking hypocrite. That's all. That's all you need to understand. He's a total fucking hypocrite. And if you ride behind hypocrites, that's on you. You be the hypocrite to yourself. You know, you decide your tactics and your, your ethics and your morals, and you display them openly to the world. That's what you do. That's all anybody does. They display their own ethics and morals out to the world. Right. And that's how this thing works. Now, of course, some people reach the heights of Donald Trump, you know, which is extremely high. Unfortunately, it's amazing how high. It's almost fucking odd that you could even reach that high. It's sad, but it's revealing that you could reach that high in the United States of America, being a white supremacist and a hypocrite at the same time, not even wanting white women to vote, you know, like seriously, you know, it's pathetic. But keep in mind, you all won't reach those heights because a lot of you are just stuck down here at the bottom.
Yeah, I do anything to make you happy. Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy.
and the rest of you are going to die with the black folks. You down there, you're going to die. Your fate is with them. You have the same fate. You have the same fate. You are broke. You are broke. And if you keep talking shit about this guy, think about this. Pretty soon Elon Musk is going to own all your fucking land. And then you won't even be a landowner. And then you still going to quote the Constitution. Only landowners can vote. Only landowners can vote. You won't have any land soon, sucker. Your land is about to be bought out by the richest man on earth. He's doing it right now, right in your red state, having a good old time. And now he's got less representatives there to help the middle class and poor like you. Like you. Less representatives now to help the middle class and poor. So Elon Musk is going to have a field day. This last year, before the midterms, Elon Musk is going to have a field day. Listen, they know that these Democrats are coming after them, and everyone else. Independents, join along, and don't forget, your country is not free. So get your country free first. And then start dealing with the rest of the world, however. But get your country free first, because you're not free. Okay? Elon Musk is just like Trump. They know it's their last days. They know it's the second term and it's the last moment. And Elon Musk knows that better than anybody. And he is going to go all out to buy up even these broke ass people. They're buying farmers' land. Farmers are defaulting across America right now, and they're buying. Who do you think is buying the land up? Who do you think is buying the land? You know, you really think they want immigrant laborers from Mexico working those farms? They're going to put some machines out there. What do you think they're going to do? What's next? You know, how automated and AI controlled are the car manufacturers going to get? What about Amazon shipping? How automated and AI controlled is that going to become? Okay, where's your job? How automated is even trucking going to become? You really think they're going to need you? Your big ass out there on a tractor trailer? You think this is efficiency? This is not efficiency at all.
Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy. What is that? Oh, Trump.
You know, so this is not efficiency. This is not efficiency. And I've just got to tell you, if you don't realize it, if you do not realize this, if you do not realize this, you're not thinking. You're missing math or something. You know, you're missing mass, things like mass and shapes and your math. You're missing it. You're about to be replaced. There is a replacement theory, but the real replacement theory is the robots coming to replace your inefficient ass. Okay, and Elon Musk is buying those farms up. Let me see how much of the farms is going into default right now under Trump. Let's see, and who's buying them up? How many USA farmers have gone bank? Oh, no. Have lost their farms or gone bankrupt under this Trump administration. I'm just curious about that. Yo, Trump's not looking good on the international stage either. He's back from China now, and people are ripping his ass to shreds. But let me see something, just to check in, because I don't really know the data offhand, right? And so I like to check in live, right? You know, instead of assume things, right? Now, let's see here. It says the data regarding farm bankruptcy closures during the current administration, 2025 and 2026, reflects a period of significant financial strain for American agriculture. While the numbers are rising, they are often contextualized within longer-term trends of consolidation and economic volatility. Here is the breakdown of the current situation based on the latest reports from the U.S. courts and the American Farm Bureau Federation. In case you don't know what that is, you pay for that. That's your tax dollars. The information that's coming is what you pay for. Okay? It's provided by you. Just in case you don't know. I'm saying that for the MAGA people that need an escape hatch and shit. Okay? You ain't getting one here, okay? It's only facts here. No imagination allowed, okay? Unless you're intelligent, which you probably not if you support Trump, okay? So, farm bankruptcies. Chapter 12. Chapter 12, bankruptcy specifically designed for family farmers to restructure debt. Recent data shows a sharp uptick. That must be good for them, right? If you're a Trump supporter, you're thinking, wow, that's good for them, man. That's great. I like that.
You are my daddy.
Yeah, you like that. In 2025 calendar year, there was 350 Chapter 12 filings nationwide. But who gives a fuck? They just farmers, right? American farmers don't matter. Nobody cares. Who gives a fuck, right? They just people too. Just like the people getting, actually the farmers are losing representation now also. That's so terrible. That's so terrible. Guess what? They're going to be alone fighting for the middle class and I guess farmers, are they middle class? I don't know. Family farmers are. They're not rich, right? Okay. So growth rates, they're not conglomerates. What is this? Nationwide. Look at this. Designed for family farmers. Family farmers. You see that word? Family farmers. Designed for family farmers. Right there. Family farmers. Boop. To restructure debt. 2025 calendar year, 315. Growth rate. This represents a 46% increase compared to 2024. So it's almost gone up 50%. Regional impact. The Midwest and the Southeast have been hardest hit. But who gives a fuck about them, right? MAGA don't give a fuck about them.
I do anything to make you happy.
Yeah, this is part of what they're doing to make them happy. That's how it works. They're giving up. They're giving up their land. It's like they're just handing it over. Here you go, Elon Musk. Here, Elon. They say Trump, but they really mean because Trump can't compete with Elon Musk monetarily. That's why Elon Musk is there. You see what I mean? Because whatever happens, as long as J.D. Vance or Mark Rubio or the party stays in control, he is going to become the king of the United States of America, Elon Musk. That's how it's set up. And he is going to pivot to Russia and China or both immediately after. Like, if he doesn't, this is what's going to happen. If he doesn't become the king of America, this is how Elon set himself up. If he doesn't become the king of America and the Republicans, because the Republicans lose the houses in the Senate, he's going to go to Russia or China. That's where he's going. That's where all that shit's going to go, pretty much. And he's going to take his corporation there, right? He's going to make some kind of deals with manufacturing, make some kind of deal. He's going to get in because you got to understand the United States is the top in terms of these contracts, right? The money, the amount of money that's being pumped out of the government to these private corporations. He's at the pinnacle. He's at the top of the chain because Americans are 350 million that contribute to the same pot, right? That's a significant number. The only number bigger is like what? China. They're like second, maybe third economy. They're in competition with Europe. They're bigger, but they're a bigger population. But the EU is 450 million and is also second, competing with China economically wise. So Europe has a good amount of manpower and a good amount of economic power, right? China has even more manpower and a good amount of economic might, but the U.S. is the top right now because it has 350 Americans who generally don't fucking like each other, contributing to the same thing, who don't respect each other. I mean, one party doesn't want women to vote, right? Doesn't want women to vote. And yeah, not only do they not want women to vote, but they don't want men wearing ladies' clothing. According to them. Just all right, just some humor there. All right, but just to show their priorities. They're more worried. That's some crazy shit. That's like 1%, Oh man, it's so crazy. But in any case, this is what's happening to the farmers. Regional impact. The Southwest has been hit hardest. Nobody gives a fuck, especially these fools. They don't give a fuck.
What is that? Oh, Trump, you are my daddy.
Yeah, their whole town is getting ravaged. Okay, while they out there singing, "You are my daddy." True to the game, huh? True to the hip hop. True to the rap, the ignorant rap, that is. Not hip hop, but the ignorant rap. True to that radio shit. Okay, so you're my daddy. I get you. Next thing you know, they're gonna have some white girls dancing in bikinis, shaking their ass all up in the screen, right? That will make the video complete, actually. But in any case, let's see here. Historic context. While these numbers are climbing, they remain lower than the peaks seen in late 2010s when filings exceeded 500 in a single year. That's 2010. So, yeah. Now let me see here. And hold on. Now, who was the president? No doubt. I want to look this up because I like being fair. Who was the president and who controlled Congress in 2010? See, because I'm not stupid, right? Congress and the Senate. I know it's not just about who the president was, because only now is the first time the president has been had king powers. So let's see here. However, it shifted, right? Control for the majority of the year following. It says unified Democrat control for the majority of the year following the results of the 2008 elections. However, this shift significantly followed the red wave midterm elections in November 2010. So let me see. The president, who was it? Executive branch, Barack Obama, Democrat. Vice President Joe Biden. Legislative branch. Prior to 2010 elections, Democratic Party held both the majority. So this was 2000. So this came off of Democrats here. These numbers, it looks like. It definitely looks like that. And let me see. Then the 2000 midterm shift. Elections hold November were a majority turning point in American politics. While the president remains in office, the new Congress did not take power until January 3rd of the following year. The result, Republicans gained 63 seats in the House, the largest shift since 1948, taking back the majority. They also gained 6 seats in the Senate, but remained in the minority there. The impact, this ended the period of unified Democratic control and led to a divide. Right. But it's definitely not super majority control, right? So it's not 68. It's not that majority you need to do things like write in healthcare, universal healthcare, that kind of thing, right? So but let me see here. I believe that came down to one person, right? One vote. That was an independent, and he said fuck no. Who was that? Joe Lieberman, something like that. Isn't that it? I think so. He's the one that dumped the real healthcare plan that the Democrats had up. Now, in any case, back to the farming, because this was about the farming. Now, I'm guessing that people are going to say this is okay, what's happening to the farmers, because Democrats did it in 2010. So, that sums it up pretty much. Like I said, they don't give a fuck. What they care more about is who did it. Now, what I'm saying right now is that you could do something about what's going on right now. And you can blame the people that don't do something right now, right? And what you could do, if you don't like what's going on, is register to vote. You can register to vote. You can tell your neighbor to register to vote. You can do it before the midterms to make sure they have all their paperwork in order. So, right? So they can actually vote on election day. You can do that. That's possible, right? That's right now. That's current. That's taking action based on what is happening and occurring in your face right now. That's not preemptive, right? That's not preemptive, but it's in the now. And if you're not doing the now, that's half the battle. So yeah, the now is necessary, right? Now yeah, so the farmers aren't doing that well, and China also connects with the farmers, right? Connects with the truckers too, transportation, but farming in the US connects with China because China is a big competitor of the United States. They used to buy actually lots of American soybeans and other products, right? But it seems like Trump has been getting duped. He got duped with the soybeans. Everybody remembers that. He got totally duped with the soybeans. Then he got what else is it? Then he got duped with a few. What was it? One other thing. Oh, right. Then China is supporting Russia, who he claims he doesn't like it. But they support Russia the whole time in Ukraine. Trump pretended like he cared about that, but he just walked away from China. Nothing to offer there. You see what I mean? No harsh words for Xi. He actually agrees with it. And now he's actually in China, right? Having the same results from apparently, according to Legacy Media, right? The same results. So let's take a look and see what they have to say. Is this rocking right now? Let's see here.
Yeah, is urging American CEOs to help maintain healthy relations between the two countries. He met earlier with a delegation of more than a dozen US business leaders who have joined President Donald Trump's state visit to Beijing. The White House has said discussions with the Chinese leader are expected to cover trade and investment. They are also highlighting the heated AI race between the US and China. Some of the executives traveling with Trump called today's talks productive and positive.
Cook, how was the meeting?
It was marvelous. Thank you so much. It's so great to be back in China.
Okay, thank you.
The meeting was incredible. President Xi was so gracious, so welcoming, and welcomed all of us to be part of China. So it was an excellent meeting. Thank you.
Well, you heard there from the Tim Cook of Apple and the NVIDIA CEO. My next guest is a China technology analyst who says Beijing could dominate what she calls the physical AI future. In a recent piece for Time magazine, she wrote, and I quote here, while American frontier labs are battling each other across large language model leaderboards, China's AI capabilities are showing up in physical ways, leaving screens and entering our daily lives.
Yeah,
and
Donovan, what's up?
Joining us live now from New York. And I really liked your piece. I thought it was excellent analysis. Donald Trump says the US is leading China in AI. Scott Bessent said the same thing earlier today. Have a listen.
The U.S. is the undisputed leader in the world here. We have the greatest AI companies. We're actually going to be discussing the AI guardrails with the Chinese. Because the Chinese are substantially behind us, but they have a very advanced AI industry here. So the two AI
does anybody believe anything this guy says? Jeff, what's his name? Bessent? Is it Scott Bessent, his name? I'm so happy I don't remember names that quickly. I remember his face though, and I know exactly what he did. But his name is not even worth knowing. You know what I'm saying? This guy is shit. It's almost like everything he says, the exact opposite happens, and then he tells you, just give it a little chance. Just give me 2 more weeks. Just give it till summer. He said that already earlier. Give it till summer. Do y'all remember that? In January, he said, give it till summer. It's summertime now, motherfucker. When is the shit going to turn? When is the corner turning? And I don't mean for the worse. I mean, for the better, you know what I'm saying? Like, God damn, this guy is, but he's another rich billionaire. Do you think, why would this dude, look, he's in relatively good shape physically, right? Except his eyes are a little crooked. I don't know what the fuck is going on there. He's starting to remind me of Heim Hitler and shit. But in any case, but why would these dudes think he gives a fuck about them? Why would they think that? Is it the skin color? It must be that but I'm going to tell you, they don't, man. You're not even welcome. You guys, you triplets and shit, or quadruplets or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? This guy doesn't care about you at all. You won't be allowed in the party. You are just used as cheap pawns. Okay, And that is just terrible, man. You know, have a little more respect for the Dixie flag, at least, or the flag, the American flag, because being used as a pawn is not a good sign of being a goddamn of anything, of any pride whatsoever. You can't be proud, and it's not even just these three quadruplets or whatever the fuck they are, 3-4 quadruplets. It's not just them, it's anybody. It doesn't matter how you look. Don't be a pawn. Don't be a pawn. Don't be a pawn. You know what I'm saying? And definitely, this is the height of being a pawn. This is the height of it.
Yeah, I do anything to make you happy.
That is
Trump,
a fuck.
You are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy.
Kids, remember that when you hear something like that, don't emulate it for anybody. It doesn't matter if it's Kamala Harris. It doesn't matter if it's Joe Biden. It doesn't matter if it's Obama. Do you ever think I would? Obama, you are my daddy. I'll do anything to make it. What the fuck? Like, oh, I'm sorry. No. They have a wrong idea about politics. How politics is supposed to work. You're supposed to tell them what is supposed to happen, or you're going to fire them, and you're supposed to tell them get it done fast or else. And instead, these dudes is out here doing the opposite. This is crazy, man.
Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy.
You're never going to get justice like that. If the poor and the middle class of America got to wait on you to get justice, it's never coming. No union jobs, no fair housing. No, only thing you're going to get out of this is some Jim Crow treatment. That's what you're going to get out of this, Jim Crow. Okay? You're going to be a sharecropper. Every penny you make is going to go to the rent, go to pay the banker. Okay? If it's not the rent, it's the banker, the loan on the house, the mortgage. You know what I'm saying? Even if you are a farmer, the loan on your farm, the mortgage on your farm, you're a sharecropper, bro. You're a sharecropper. Could have learned something from African Americans, but you didn't. Still want to be sharecroppers, huh? God damn. You know, I mean, it's really ironic, ain't it? But in any case, Jeff.
Superpowers.
Continue, Jeff.
We're going to start talking.
Or Scott, whatever the fuck his name is. Continue, please. Oh, fuck, man. Oh, right. Okay, we got to have a little commercial break here. By the way, if you haven't clicked the like button, please click the like button. Take this moment to click the like button. Take this moment to subscribe. Take this moment to do whatever else. Send a brother a cash out, buy some music, do whatever you got to do in this moment. So, all right, here we go. We're ready again. Let's hear.
Okay, so what do you make of what he said? I mean, when you look at the numbers from chip production to patents to deployment, the picture doesn't seem as basic or black and white as Donald Trump or Besant are making it out. So where do things actually stand in this race?
Thanks for having me. I think the picture is very complicated. The US obviously leads in advanced AI chips, in capital, and model capabilities. We estimate it to be about 6 to 8 months ahead of Chinese AI models based on publicly released models and their benchmark performance. But China is having a very different approach. It is doing a lot more being a lot more focused on embedding AI into various industry sectors. They call it AI plus, and using AI essentially to upgrade its very vast manufacturing base. And this is helped by their open source approach, which essentially means that any user around the world can freely download, modify, use an open source model. So I think these two approaches are showing that the US and China are running very different AI races. And one of the emerging frontiers of AI is physical AI. So we can think of robots, drones, humanoids. And I think China has a great advantage there because of their economies of scale accumulated in the past industry cycles, from mobile phones to electric vehicles. And now they're trying to bring that into that supply chain into robotics.
So let's just have a look at who is there with Donald Trump. The NVIDIA CEO, Jensen Huang, on the trip. He did appear somewhat of a last-minute addition, actually. What does his presence tell you about the stakes of this trip?
Yeah, him joining at the 11th hour, I think, is very much about how tech is hovering at the background of the minds of the two presidents. So H200 sales is probably a key thing to watch out for. They've been stalling for months. So NVIDIA, I think being there with Jensen there is trying to push for these sales to be accelerated in the Chinese market. Though I've heard in the past that the past few months it's stalled because of some Department of Commerce security reviews. So hopefully if we see that accelerate, this would be quite a key thing that would tilt the balance in the favor.
So you see Elon Musk is there also in the background, right? Wheeling and dealing. And you gotta ask yourself, like,
because of some
what is the relevance of him being there, right? The U.S. has not released notes, I don't believe, about the meeting. So you don't get to know. Unfortunately, the Republican Party is not wanting to know. They don't demand to know. Some of them know. The corrupt ones definitely know already because, of course, they're doing their little insider trading thing, trying to hook up their businesses, see whatever they can get, handouts from China, right? They probably all got their handout. See, the problem with bigots in the United States, that is that they don't believe in the country. They just believe in me first. And as long as I can get something, be damned with this country, because they never liked it. They don't like it. They did it for them in their minds. It was not intended to be a multicultural, whatever, if that's what you want to call it. Because is American multicultural? Is that really the best way to describe it? Multicultural. It's always been that. Right. But I guess that's what it is. In that way, it is, cultures of people that came, immigrants from all over the world. Right. And then also the natives. Right. So it is multicultural in that way. Right. But they never intended it to be like that. That was supposed to be what do you call it? Do whatever you need to do to get to where you need to get. And then, be damned with that part of you. You know what I mean? So the intention of a lot of these white supremacists is that, you were just here to build the country. You were just here to be servants. You were just here to be slaves. And you weren't here to rule. This is not your country. You're not even a full human. This is their argument. And so the moment that it starts looking like it is a multicultural society in a positive way, not in a slave way, because, colonialists and slavery and all that shit, that was multicultural too. It's just that there was a color hierarchy, a racial hierarchy, right? But this is it's supposed to be multicultural in a positive way, in a way that all those shameful things ended. The country perfected itself, became better, along with science, right? But they're afraid of that. They don't believe in science. They lean heavily on ideology, Christian, right-wing, KKK Christian ideology, racial ideology, that kind of dynamic, and of course, maybe Christians aren't the only people that could suffer from that time to time, this belief in racial hierarchy, right? But other groups do. They have it in some kind of way, unfortunately, it's there. The people who are special and the other ones who aren't, and whose name and who's related to them and who's not, you know what I mean? And is slavery okay in your religion? This kind of dynamic. So do you justify it? Yeah. In any case, this kind of battle. So when they saw Barack Obama, man, Barack Obama shook their ass. He scared the hell out of them. And simply only because his mannerisms, right? He showed that, multicultural. What is that? He's an American. He's born and raised and raised in the United States, right? Hawaii's part of the United States. He's been born and raised around American citizens, right? Hawaii's part of the United States. And he went to school in the United States. And his mother's from the United States. Yeah, his uncles and aunts and grandparents are also from the United States, the ones he knows, the one he have close relationship to. The ones that were around him when he was growing up, right? Pretty much day to day. So he kind of showed that, it's multicultural, but hey, man, we wearing the same suits. I speak the same language. We go to the same schools. we have the same views pretty much, right? Outside of the fact that one American doesn't believe in a multicultural society and the other is a symbol of people that believe in a multicultural society. One wants to eliminate other groups of people and the other one wants to accept groups of people. Inhabitants. You know, so yeah, there's a good side to multicultural. There's a bad side. There's a bad way to do it. You see what I mean? You know, I mean, seriously, you know, but I mean, at least that's how I see it. You know, it doesn't have to be termed that way. I understand that. But in any case, so Trump is over here in Cali. I mean, in China. I'm sorry. It's early. He's over here in China and he's getting dissed. And people are saying that Trump doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And he's there with Elon Musk. Elon Musk is going to court for fraud. He's going to inside of the United States and other things. You know what I'm saying? Back and forth. He obviously wants total control, is afraid of ChatGPT, OpenAI. He's competing against everybody, you know, because he wants to be the top dog. And he is the top dog. Elon Musk is the top dog. JD Vance will capitulate 100% to Elon Musk and Peter Thiel. Donald Trump grew up with fuck you money, unlike JD Vance. So JD Vance doesn't have a backbone to stand up against these guys. He wish he was them. Donald Trump was already them before they existed. You see what I mean? So Donald Trump has a different way of seeing them. So he knows he got them, that they need him to the very end. Because if Donald Trump doesn't pass over the baton to JD Vance or or whoever else, right? If he doesn't pass over the keys, he's got the keys. If he doesn't do for them whatever it is, then JD Vance will be the one who does it, right? So Donald Trump knows that. So he's going to hang his old ass around forever. Donald Trump plans on hanging around until he cannot get his body out of bed. Even in bed, he's not going to relinquish it. He's not going to relinquish it. So that's what's going on. So these people know that moment. So they want to get over there. They want to get ahead of Donald Trump. Elon Musk got to go on this trip. That's why he's there. So he's going to make the deals behind Trump's back. You see? So this castle that they built is really falling apart. You know, they're going to rip each other to shreds in a moment, but they're also going to do anything they can at this last moment because they know it could be the last moment. It could be over. Elon Musk can lose everything and be kicked out of the United States of America for what he has done. You see what I'm saying? So he knows that. So he's not a loyalist to the United States of America. He has 3 passports. 3 citizenships. You see? How many of you in the chat have 3 citizenships? Put a 1 in the chat if you have 3 citizenships. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't. Okay? If you have less. If you have less. I don't want to hear anything else, man. Nobody up in here lying. I got 5 and shit. I got 6. No. I'm curious about that. But somebody say, what did he do? Oh, well, you don't watch the news, I guess. Sorry, go watch the news and then come back and ask me. Now, let's see here. At the same time, this is what's going on. This is what commentators are saying.
Striking to me. And I hope the White House will clarify that. The last time that happened, by the way, was when Trump met with Putin. And they didn't even have a press conference. Remember, they ran home. They didn't have the dinner. They didn't have the lunch. Because the president, I think, we now know from excellent reporting, promised Putin Donbass. He said he was going to press Zelensky to give him Donbass. I hope that didn't happen with respect to Taiwan. And then on Iran, let's just be clear. The Chinese are not going to help us end the war in Iran, right. Even if they could. This is a ridiculous claim. It makes the president look weak. He's begging the Chinese to open the Strait of Hormuz, that his war closed. Think about how weak we look in the eyes of the rest of the world.
Right. So they're saying that Trump is basically there begging the Chinese about the Straits of Hormuz, right? Elon Musk obviously is not there for that reason. You know, he could care less about that. That's not what he wants. He's looking for mineral resources. He's looking to dominate find places where he can go to get the resources he needs to continue his car and his machinery, his robots and all of that shit. You see what I mean? He wants countries to totally capitulate. If he's going to leave and work with a country, it's going to be because they can back him up with the machines. They can give him some security after this fallout with the United States, or, you know, something that is for him. It's not for the United States. Now, check this out. Let me let you hear a little more of this, where they place this, because it's interesting, and then I want to play something else about Elon. Watch this.
Department of Commerce, security reviews. So hopefully, if we see that accelerate, this would be quite a key thing that would tilt the balance in the favor of some Chinese companies. But at the same time, I think Jensen being there is also kind of an attempt to try to get NVIDIA's market share in China's AI chip market to not continue to fall. So a few years ago, before export controls, they had 95% of the chip market, advanced AI chip market in China. Now their market share is under 40%. So a lot of Chinese companies are gravitating market share in China's AI chip market to not continue to fall. So a few years ago, before export controls, they had 95% of the chip market, advanced AI chip market in China. Now their market share is under 40%.
You see that? You see that? So they're definitely there begging, right? They're definitely there begging. Maybe Elon Musk has a little something to do with that, right? Because of NVIDIA, the chips. You know, they need the chips for the AI and they need the chips for the robots and all of that shit, right? So that might be why he's there. But listen, anybody else would see this as a security threat, as a national security threat. Why are they over there begging China for something they claimed we could do at home? Don't you remember? They dropped all the laws, all the regulation, not all, but a lot of regulation for AI advancement. Don't you remember that? Whatever happened to bringing the jobs back to the U.S.? Whatever happened to the chips? What's going on there? Trump has total control over the Congress, total control over the Senate, total control over the Justice Department, total control over the Supreme Court. What is he not able to do with total control? What is it? You see, and he's begging China. So either this is complete, utter incompetence, right? Or something even worse. Something even worse. Epstein list. Yeah, I saw that. You know, I'm inclined to believe something like that. I don't it's so sad. It's so sad, but I'm inclined to believe it because nothing. Look, Scott Bessent, he was talking about in January. He was talking about just wait for the economic plan. Just wait till summer. Scott Bessent is commenting on this shit. He's over there shaking Xi's hand, right? That didn't happen. The economy didn't turn. It got worse by summer. It's getting worse right now. And, you know, the only thing they seem to, most of these people have in common is either the Epstein files or they're closely related to other people in the Epstein files. I mean, you know, but I don't want to simplify, but it's actually pathetic. It's actually pathetic. But let me see here. Let me go over to real quick, just some stats, other stats about this, and then take it further. Let me see. Click the like button in the meantime. If you haven't clicked the like button, do that for me. That would be nice. And that way more people get to come into the stream and get notified. You know, sometimes YouTube doesn't really send the notifications out so well. So it's not always reliable. Even right now, you might not even see that I'm live. You know, usually when you're live, you have a round circle around your image, your whatever they call that, avatar. You usually have a round circle, but mine doesn't typically show that anymore. So I don't know what that's all about. But in any case, let's continue.
Senior reporter David Goldman to make it make sense. He is tracking the 5 key numbers steering this summit. So David, help us break through the noise. What do we need to know?
Yeah, Kristen talked about sticky issues. They are sticky indeed, because the first number you need to understand is 600 million. That's the number of Chinese AI users, according to China. That is why President Trump brought with him Elon Musk and Jensen Huang and Tim Cook. There's a massive market to be tapped in China with the key technology for U.S. national security, and that is AI. The second number.
I'm sorry. There is no. If these fools are under the impression that China is going to let them tap their market. What do they even watch their own news? I mean, what the fuck? What are they talking about? What are they talking about? This is what they complain about China in the first place, this administration, not letting people in. That's what they complain about. They don't know China's not going to let them in. And if they do let them in, they're just going to fucking copy their shit. Why do they not know that when these are the claims they make anyway? You know, I'm sorry. There's absolutely no excuse. There's loads of places you could have been working with. You know, think about this. Trump turned against let me pull this map up because it doesn't make sense. But a map helps you understand how it's not really making sense at all. It just makes no fucking sense. And this is why people are saying it's a new world order coming. It's a new world order, and the U.S. is not at the top of it anymore. You know, and this is why, because a map, the problem is that data and maps, you know, pretty much tell you how much it costs, distance and time, and also security, how security works. You know, security is affected by logistics, right? How do you move your materials around? What geographical space do you control? Is it easier to circle in a place? You know, how do you circle in a region? How do you do these things? And, you know, just a lot of different detail. But let me see here. Can I get out of that? Right. Now, let me see. Look at this damn map. This is just incredible. Let me see. Is this the full map here? Yeah. Okay. So look. So you got the U.S., right? The U.S. is right there. And then anybody can see that Europe, Greenland is above. Canada is above the U.S. Anybody can see that. And then right across the ocean is the other NATO allies. So they've circled in this region. They've circled it in. So security-wise, you know, you might want to make sure that you develop your infrastructure within this circle, on this Atlantic. That's what's going to make you safe. This is what's going to, you know, anytime you have people coming up in this Atlantic and things like that, or it's weak around this Atlantic, then that's also a weakness for you. If the U.S. becomes weak, it's a weakness for NATO, or for the other NATO allies. If NATO becomes weak, it's a weakness for the U.S. If Greenland becomes, you know, these are the arguments. They all make these arguments. They all know that, right? And then you have your flank, the other side, right? This is where you have to worry about the West, because these are where your competitors are. China and Russia are literally on the Pacific, right? And this is where you want to shore up here, the other flank here on the border of Russia, which is what has typically been going on, right? That strategy has worked so far. But Trump, instead of working within this group or someone else, South America, Africa, instead of doing that to help create AI, he wants to go to China, right? He wants to go to China and do that. I mean, okay, you could do that, right? But China, you know, they're emerging, but what about democracy? What about democracy? You know, what about freedoms? What are the freedoms like in China? Isn't China having an issue like the U.S. is having with police, with surveillance? You know, and these two working together with AI, you might want to question it. You might want to question it. You really might want to. You see what I mean? Like, a lot of people may want to question that relationship there, just in terms of freedom, their own freedom, excuse me. Right, because both are known to be repressive regimes. You see what I mean? Both are known to be repressive regimes. Now, let's listen some more to what they got to say.
That is why President Trump brought.
What do we need to know?
Yeah, Kristen.
I told you CNN is they're getting bought by a right winger, straight up. Right wing billionaires about to suck up CNN, and they sound like it every day.
About sticky issues. They are sticky indeed, because the first number you need to understand is 600 million. That's the number of Chinese AI users, according to China. That is why President Trump brought with him Elon Musk and Jensen Huang and Tim Cook. There's a massive market to be tapped in China with the key technology for U.S. national security, and that is AI. The second number you need to understand is 93%. That is the control of the rare earth market that China has. We know that the United States needs to restock its weapons after the Iran war. What makes those weapons?
Yep. Well, they're speaking facts, though. You know, now in retrospect, now that I gave him a chance to speak, he's speaking facts. It is facts. I mean, it's just China ain't going to give them shit. China is going to give them what beggars deserve. That's what China is going to give them. And just think, the U.S. had the upper hand on China just with Biden and Harris. They had the upper hand. Biden and Harris would not even conceive of going to China and begging them for anything. Nothing. But yet, and why is that? Because you got other resources to tap. You got other possibilities. You know, there's other reasons. First of all, your relationship with Taiwan is going to go down the tubes, capitulating to China and the Asian Ocean, right? That's what's going to happen. This is going to be a setback. This is going to result in a setback for these regions. And so they're probably gearing up. They're probably gearing up right now. Now that they've seen this meeting, I guarantee you everyone else is pivoting because of this meeting. Everybody else. Everyone else is saying, what's going on here? What's going to happen here? What's going to happen in Vietnam? What's going to happen in the Philippines? What's going to happen in Malaysia? What's going to happen in Papua New Guinea? What's going to happen in Japan? What's going to happen in South Korea? What's going to happen in some of the other regions here? Hawaii is over here. You see what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if Hawaii is goddamn next. I mean, but seriously, you know, but and look, who would, I mean, the way Trump is looking, he's not looking like a strong leader. So a lot of people are going to, you know, make whatever choices they have to make to survive. But if you think this is losing these regions is going to help you get more than 90, is going to help you get a little more natural resources, it's the exact opposite. It's the exact opposite. So the plan for the natural resources is to defend, and to defend wisely, you know, to defend with some superior knowledge and understanding of logistics, right? But that's not what's going to happen here. That's not what's going to happen, because you don't have a president that knows anything about that, and you don't have any people in the country that care about the country. I mean, in the leadership, they care. They don't care. They will sell you out and your mama and everything with you, straight up. And that means that doesn't just mean certain types. It means all. It means all. Okay, let's hear some more.
Weapons work, rare earth minerals, China has control over that. That will be a big sticking point. 80% is the next number you need to know. That is the percentage of Iranian oil that China buys. It's probably even more than that. That was before the war. China needs the Strait of Hormuz.
Yo, 6, exactly. New Zealand, exactly. You're right. You're right. New Zealand, Australia, you know. Yeah. I mean, this is a big number. You see? I mean, let me go back. Where's the screenshot at here again? 90%. 90% of the world's rare earth minerals China produces. Right? I mean, I don't know. I don't understand what they mean by that, really. Of course, that's a subjective approach. You know, that's subjective. It depends on how you, but it's still a concerning thing. It just means they have significant percentage of world's rare earth minerals China produces. Yeah, the word produce is, you know, it doesn't mean what's in the ground. Okay, but It means what they refine and put out to market, have ready to market, right? And this is, but let's
China
continue.
has
Let's
control
continue.
over that. That will be a big sticking point. 80%
Capitulating
is the next number you need to know. That is the percentage of
keep in mind, the U.S., the richest country on earth, the richest man on earth. This is why I believe it's more Epstein related, because the richest country that's ever existed on earth, and is still the richest country, right? Here it is, right? That's the United States of America. They could be working with anybody on the Atlantic freely, complete and utter freeness. South America, Africa, Europe, Greenland, peacefully. They could do that. But see, that's what you would do if you care, right? If you're thinking about sustainability for a nation. But if you're thinking about just getting something for yourself and being out, jetting out of here, you're going to go to China. You know, just a quick hit. You're not thinking about developing relationships anywhere close to you. Of course, you know, what are you going to do? You're going to get raw earth materials from China? Is that what you're going to do? Where do you think China's getting their raw earth materials from? In any case, and even if it's coming from China, is that what your plan is, to ship the shit all that far? That's your plan? Ship it from China? Ship it to China, to where? Alaska, or to, is this really the plan? You know, again, a lot's going to happen in between that plan. And it's going to happen right here, right in that area, right there. It's going to happen. A whole lot is going to be happening there. A whole lot right there. Yes, somebody said Australia, New Zealand. A whole lot is going to be happening before that idea comes to be, right? So you got some time on that, because there's a lot of other things that could happen. But
Iranian oil that China buys. It's probably even more than that. That was before the war. China needs the Strait of Hormuz to be reopened because it relies so heavily on Iranian oil. President Trump knows that. That will be a big point of leverage as well.
Oh, Donovan, you say I got to listen to the have I listened? You have to listen to the translation in the meeting between Donald Trump and GGP. Yeah, let me do that. Is it out there? I hope it's out there. Let me check.
$25 billion is a big number. That's the amount that Taiwan just approved to buy U.S. military equipment. You just heard Kristen talking about how serious she is about this issue. That will be a topic of consideration as well. And then 10% is the last number you need to know. 10% is the tariff that the United States has put on Chinese goods. Now remember, a year ago it was 145%. It's come down a lot because the Supreme Court says Trump doesn't have the ability to put any tariff he wants. He's lost a little leverage there, Pam.
David Goldman, thank you for helping us better understand everything that's going on, as always.
CNN's Fareed Zakaria is also here, the host of course, Fareed Zakaria, GPS. Fareed, what are you going to be watching for in this meeting in terms of, are we going to see Xi Jinping say something directly to the president about Iran? What are you expecting?
I suspect the Chinese are very formal. They very rarely will reveal publicly what they are really talking about privately. I don't know if you remember, there was a time when Justin Trudeau let slip what he and Xi Jinping had been talking about, and she was visibly upset about it and told him that's not how this is supposed to work. So I suspect what we will see will be all formalities and that kind of thing. Tough for President Trump, because he likes to actually just tell you what's going on. I suspect the issue that Trump will want to come away from is some kind of economic deal where there's a talk about the Chinese buying goods, investing in America. The Chinese will want some lowering of tariffs. The hot button, of course, is Taiwan. The Chinese have indicated that they would like to see some shift in America's position on Taiwan. I doubt that they're going to get something on it. So my guess is that this is going to be a little bit more practical and nitty-gritty and not a transformative set of meetings, But, I suspect that there will be progress on most of the big economic issues that both sides want.
Well, when you were in China last month talking to officials ahead of this meeting, what did they tell you about what to expect?
What they were hoping for was some movement on Taiwan. What they were hoping for was some movement on tariffs. They believe that China...
I don't trust a goddamn thing this U.S. administration says. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They were hoping for some movement on Taiwan. Okay, yeah, movement. If they say movement, they mean they hope for some capitulation of the U.S. That's what our own government would be saying. That's what I'm thinking, because everything they say turns out to be the opposite. They're hoping for some movement on Taiwan. Yeah, movement, sure, but what kind of movement? What kind of movement are you talking about?
Unjustly has, these...
You talking about movement that favors China, or movement that favors Taiwan or U.S. or U.S. allies, or what? What is it? Which one?
On tariffs. They believe that China unjustly has, these very high tariffs against it. It's a little complicated now because so many of Trump's tariffs have been rolled back by the courts that it's not exactly clear what the tariffs on China are, but they are higher than other countries. And he certainly has the ways he can get them higher. But for them, the main issues were Taiwan, tariffs, and to a certain extent, a sense from the United States that there was a workable relationship going forward, not a kind of race to demonize China, decouple, etc.
Yeah, somebody in the chat says, and again, I'm curious about what type of person leaves a comment like this. Is obviously these trolls been watching my channel, so they pre-make comments that don't have anything to do with what we're talking about here. But look, somebody got 2 subscribers, right? They're in the chat. I just want to illustrate this to people. Here we go. This is the person, Russell Dixon. That's obviously a phony name. There's nothing about what nationality they are, what town they live in, anything personable. You can't make out who they really are. They could be a Russian in the sitting under Putin's nuts, or they could be somebody in China. I don't know. They could be someone trying to create a civil war in the U.S. and doesn't want you to know their nationality. But their YouTube page was made in 2023. Like what is that? 3 years ago? Okay, so it's a 3-year-old, and their comment is, here it is. Denmark is still a decent place because both parties agreed to reverse asylum. Listen, the difference between you and Danes is huge. Okay. Americans don't agree on universal health care. That's why they don't have it. Denmark, the right wing, Denmark's a decent country because the right wing and the left wing agree on universal health care. They also agree on universal education. And guess what? Every person, even like myself, is a part of that. Okay? Even though I'm an immigrant to Denmark. There's a lot that all the parties agree with. You should learn more about Denmark. Don't be fixated. Don't be only willing to learn about asylum. Don't let immigration be the thing you go into your corner and whack off to. Okay, stop having a fetish on immigrants. That's sickening. You see, the differences between the United States and Denmark are huge. Okay, we used to have a lot in common. That's pretty much over. The United States threatened physical violence against Denmark. That makes you and your leadership fucking animals. Okay, like seriously, straight up. And so don't be coming up in this chat, you know what I'm saying? Trying to get people, one way. The topic is about Trump and China, okay? Stick to the topic, all right? Come to Denmark, visit it, stay for a while, learn about the Danish culture, learn about the Danish kingdom, and learn practically too, not just theoretically over the internet, and then talk about what makes Denmark good. I live in Denmark. That's why I talk about the things I think that make it good. I'm an American that lives in Denmark. Okay? Born and raised in Washington, D.C., the United States. Both sides of my family go back to the colonial period. But as a grown-ass man, when I was 30 years old, I moved to Denmark, and I've lived here. So I can speak about the good things not just theoretically, practically. And I can tell you about the different parties. All the different parties don't agree exactly on how to deal with immigration all the time. Period. If you learn Danish, you would know that. Okay? And not only is it just that they don't always agree on, it's loads of things. Energy they don't always agree on. Climate they don't always agree on. But you have to learn Danish to even know it. Or you at least got to be willing to take the time to translate it. Look, right now, Americans in the United States need to have everything else to look up to Denmark for besides immigration. That's like 80 million other fucking things that for some reason you keep missing. You keep missing. Man, sometimes I just like, I really wonder, man.
For Trump, I think it's, somebody said, what was it? The 3 Bs, beans, there are 3 sets of goods that beans, Boeing, and something else. He's trying to get the Chinese to buy American stuff. And agriculture is a big part of it. Aircraft is a big part of it. And if he can get them to announce some big purchases, that's what he's going to be looking for.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but that was one of those Donald Trump, you are my daddy. I'll do anything to make you happy comments and shit, man. Take your ass somewhere else, Russell. Okay? God damn. Russell born in 2023. I mean, God dang, not too scared to even show anything about himself over the internet. You know what I'm saying? That's corny, man. That's corny. You either proud of what you say over the internet or you not. Okay? Do something about it. Yeah. I don't want nobody knowing what I'm saying. I don't want nobody at my job knowing what I'm saying. I don't want nobody. Just handle your business. Okay? Be professional at work and at home. Be however you want to be in the other time. Just follow the goddamn law. Okay? Live within some boundaries of respect. Okay? You see what I mean? Then you don't have to be goddamn. Then you don't have to be scared. Are you committing a crime, Russell? What the fuck is going on? Stop hiding, man. God damn.
I mean,
freedom of speech. Denmark believes in freedom of speech. Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you also know that? Yeah. Although they do have laws on discrimination. Did you know that too? Yeah, they do. And you know what I'm saying? I know that because I've read up on some of them. You see what I mean? I've read up on some of them. I mean, come on, you know what I mean? But still, if you're an American talking about Denmark and the only thing you know is about immigration, Denmark has some tight immigration laws. But if that's the only thing you know, man, you need to look in the mirror and smack yourself. Look in the mirror and smack yourself, because you should be wanting a whole lot of more knowledge from Danes that you obviously in the U.S. are not willing to accept. Like, obviously not willing to accept, Seriously.
He also wants them to open up the Chinese economy to these American CEOs and a lot of the CEOs that are traveling with him. I mean, you just heard Kristen listing them out. Elon Musk, Tim Cook,
looking
Jensen
at some
Huang,
accounts,
from X, Apple, and Nvidia. Also, we've got reps from Meta, Boeing, those other major companies. What does that look like when they're all gathered there, when they are eventually, all in front of Xi Jinping together?
Well, a lot of those companies have businesses in China. I mean, Tesla sells lots of cars in China, and it's facing stiff competition. Tesla's market share is declining, not
Mr. Melancholic. Oh, wow.
Because the Chinese government is stopping them, but because the Chinese have a ferociously competitive EV market at home. Most of the ones you mentioned, I think, other than Meta, actually do operate there. But you're right. Trump is looking.
I'm going to drop the link for Jason Puelski so he can hop up here and have a conversation. I want to qualify some things. Let's see here. Put the link in the chat. At least he's a real human being. I respect that. Come on up. Come on up, Jason. You're not hiding who you are. And I see you got some pictures up there of yourself. You got a description? Come on and hop your ass up. All right. Feel free. I would love to have a conversation in front of everybody with you. All right. So let's go, man. Or if you're scared, you don't have to. Maybe you don't have time. Maybe you can't figure it out on your mobile phone.
For more market access to China. My sense, Caitlin, is if it's about this kind of stuff, the Chinese are happy to deal. They're happy to be transactional. They're happy to say, in return for you lowering tariffs this much, we'll allow the American banks to own 10% more of their joint ventures in China. The issue that they find with Trump is he's very unpredictable, he's very disruptive, and he does things like the Iran war, which completely disrupt and upend their planning. I mean, the Chinese get a lot of imported energy out of the Persian Gulf, and I think they find that it's the wild card of Trump that they find harder to understand and deal with. Trump, as a transactional businessman, they're happy to cut a deal.
We're learning more about the first day of talks between President Trump and Chinese leader Xi Jinping. The two men toasting each other today at a state banquet in Beijing and praising the long, sometimes strained relationship between the two countries.
Okay, so this is the gist of it, essentially. Trump basically is over there begging. I don't know, Jason, you like Trump? Russell, I mean, you like Trump begging? Was that your idea of a leader? A beggar, somebody on their knees licking Xi's nuts. While she is looking him in the eye saying, yeah, but you don't like DEI, do you? I mean, even though he probably doesn't like DEI in his own country, but still, there's still something to be said about that. I mean, I'm quite sure that he notices things like that, because any weakness, right, in battle, any weakness a competitor picks up on and utilizes to their own benefit. And so if it's just the fact that you dehumanize Asian Americans just for who they are, just for what they are born, the skin, the hair, just because they look Asian, that would piss off a guy like him. I mean, he would even be thinking like, how can I stick it to you? How can I make your leaders crawl and grovel? I'm just saying, Asian people are aware of discrimination. That kind of unites them when everybody, goes after them in discriminatory manners. That unites different Asian people that otherwise wouldn't even be united. It was like, seriously, that would be the one thing. Bigotry, ignorant, dumbass bigotry, dumbass discrimination would unite them. Unites people that otherwise don't really have much in common other than what they look like. But that's good old Donald Trump for you. Yes.
Xi and Trump.
Good old J.D. Vance. Good old Hi Hitler Elon Musk. Yeah, uniting the world. Yeah, in ways no one ever thought possible. Okay.
Both emphasizing the value of cooperation between the world's two economic superpowers. And Xi even seemingly reaching out to the president's base in these comments through it.
I mean, Biden, at least Biden did something for the farmers. He came into office. I don't know what was passed. I know that all presidents aren't perfect, and I know they don't always get everything done they want passed. But this president is miserable, and he got a whole lot passed. This motherfucker has the majority of Congress, the majority of the Senate, then the majority of the Supreme Court, which are the kingmakers. The Supreme Court control everything, literally. As long as you allow them to rule, they rule according to their political affiliation, right wing. So no matter what a Congress does, no matter what a president does, the Supreme Court is always a roadblock to anything that is just because the Supreme Court says no. That's all it takes. And the Supreme Court, did you know a 1-year-old could be appointed to the Supreme Court according to the United States law? A fucking 1-year-old? Seriously, the Supreme Court has less, not that any of these people have any requirements, but at least the other ones you have to be a citizen. The Supreme Court, you don't actually have to be a citizen. I don't know how many of you have read that. Yeah, don't even have to be 18. You could be 6 months old and be appointed to the Supreme Court. and I'm sure Donald Trump will be the first one that does. Okay, he's probably going to appoint Elon Musk baby. All right, one of his kids.
Listen to this.
Achieving the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation and making America great again can go hand in hand. We can help each other succeed and advance the well-being of the whole world.
2.5 centuries.
Hey, look, that's the exact opposite of what Trump said. Trump's not trying to advance the whole world. That's how China is beating them. China is replacing the U.S. on the humanitarian scale, just being human, thinking about the whole world, new world order, thinking about being the leader of the world. And Trump is like, who cares about the world? Make America great again. Stay out of foreign wars. Stay out of their business. Bring the jobs back here. We're number one. Fuck everybody else.
Can go hand in hand. We can help each other succeed and advance the well-being of the whole world.
Here comes Trump.
2.5 centuries later, that first connection has grown into one of the most consequential relationships in world history.
You know what Trump reminds me of? When he says this, when he really says this, right? I'm totally reminded of what the ass kissing he did for African Americans when he wanted to win an election, when he wanted something. When Trump wants something from you, man, he kissed ass like nobody else. Like, seriously, he really knows how to kiss ass. And, I'm curious about whether MAGA people care, but I don't think they do. But here, check it.
American leaders, you're going to be the leader, somebody I would be almost willing to bet, maybe even willing to bet, somebody in that audience right here, right in front of me, is going to be standing here someday. I think so. You've got a good shot.
Yeah.
You're going to have a good shot. You've done incredible work to get to this position, and I have tremendous respect for it. We're glad to be joined by our terrific Vice President, Mike Pence.
Yay, Mike Pence! Yay! Mike Pence!
And many of our cabinet members are here. They wanted to be here. I told a couple of them, don't have to. Don't worry about it. What the heck? These are my friends. They said, no, we want to be here.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of our cabinet.
We got a long relationship together, us and China. You know what I'm saying? 200 years later. What else you got to say about us?
Members here, and to every young person, you represent America's future. You are the best and the brightest, the bravest and boldest, and someday you are going to be setting records like nobody before.
Oh, right.
I'm telling you, I know it. I know where it's at. I know where energy is, and you have the energy like very few people have the energy. So I just want to have you get out there. Prove me right, please, okay? Prove me right. Yeah. I have no doubt you will. Each of you has come to Washington for the Black Leadership Summit because you have what it takes to achieve the Black Leadership Summit.
October 4th, 2019.
Black Leadership Summit. The Black Leadership Summit. The Black Leadership Summit. The Black Leadership Summit. The Black Leadership Summit.
I told you Trump really knows how to kiss ass. He went down there to he organized the Black Leadership Summit to kiss some ass because he's willing to say when he needs something from you, a vote, he's willing to do it, but he doesn't need your vote anymore. That was 2019. That's the past. The new Trump in this administration doesn't care about your vote. He already got that. So those days are over. Now you get the gerrymandering, all these other things, all the laws, that were there to protect you, all this shit. Think about this. All that's gone. But listen to Trump back then before that. Listen.
Because you have what it takes to achieve real change on your campuses and in your communities, and that's what you've been doing, and that's actually why you're here. You speak out for the values and principles that have made America the most exceptional nation anywhere on earth, and I will say this today is greater than it ever was before. Our military,
wow.
Our economy.
He says, what did he say about African Americans? Man, let's hear that again. Trump is.
Nobody has done more for the black community than the
loyal.
No, that's the other
like
Trump. He's flipping between fucking personalities and shit. But here, listen to some more.
Yeah, prove me right, please, okay? Prove me right. I have no doubt you will. Each of you has come to Washington for the Black Leadership Summit because you have what it takes to achieve real change on your campuses and in your communities, and that's what you've been doing, and that's actually why you're here. You speak out for the values and principles that have made America the most exceptional nation anywhere on earth, and I will say this today is greater than it ever was before. Our military, our economy. African Americans built this nation. African Americans built this nation. African Americans built this nation.
So you see, Trump is willing to say anything when he wants something from you, and everyone has figured it out. And if you think Chinese people don't know this pattern from Trump,
One of the most consequential relationships in world history.
see, when you get Trump talking like this means you got him by the balls, because he needs something from you. And what China's going to do, which is different from African Americans didn't, when they had him by the balls, they didn't get shit from him. They didn't demand anything from him. But you better believe China is going to demand a whole lot out of you, every single one of you. Every single American, China is going to demand a lot, and you're going to pay it. And you ain't going to do nothing about it.
Also new today, a red line over Taiwan. China's state media was reporting that Xi...
Damn, that sounded kind of grim. I saw people pause in the chat, like people getting scared and shit, because it's true. It's true. You're going to pay. You're going to pay. This is what somebody says when they need you. But African Americans didn't, when they had Trump by the balls, they didn't demand anything from Trump. But you better believe China will, and they're going to get it from every single American. You, regardless of whether you like Trump or not, you're going to pay, and you ain't going to do nothing about it.
Grown into one of the most consequential relationships in world history.
Also new today, a red line
Gloomy
over
days.
Taiwan. China's state media was reporting that Xi warned President Trump that Taiwan is the most important issue between the two countries. And Xi says if mishandled could create, quote, a very dangerous situation, end quote. The Chinese Communist Party has long vowed to unify.
And that's what you call a threat. Okay? That's basically, look, man, if you don't give us what we want with China, things are going to get dangerous. Okay, imagine that. He just told your president this shit going to get dangerous, yo. And Trump, what did he say? Oh, you're my best friend, man. He's a good guy, man. He's a great dude.
Issue between the two countries. And Xi says if mishandled could create, quote, a very dangerous situation. And
if you mishandle it, Trump, you better not do that. It's going to get dangerous, buddy. It's going to get dangerous for you. That's exactly what he said. That's crazy. Now, it's crazy to hear an American president even be talked about like that. But then again, Trump is a whole bitch. Now, let me see here. Here we go. Now, somebody said, let's read this. There's a statement the White House made about the trip. President Trump had a good meeting with President Xi. Can y'all see this? Let me see if I can make the text a little bigger for people. Let's see here. Boom, boom. Boom. There we go. I think it's better now. President Xi had a good trip with President Trump had a good trip with President Xi of China. The two sides discussed ways to enhance economic cooperation between our two countries, including expanding market access for American businesses into China, increasing Chinese investment into our industries. He make it sound so easy because they're willing participants, you know, when you come and beg. They'll do anything you want when you come and beg them. Okay, leaders from many of the United States' largest companies joined a portion of the meeting. The president also highlighted the need to build on progress in ending the flow of fentanyl precursors into the United States, as well as increasing Chinese purchases of American agricultural products. The two sides agreed that the Straits of Hormuz must remain open to support free flow of energy. President Xi also made it clear China's opposition to the militarization of the Straits and any effort to charge a toll for its use, and he expressed Okay. And he expressed interest in purchasing more American oil. He expressed interest. Oh, really? Yeah. Great. Me too. I want to buy some Jordan tennis shoes today. All right. What am I going to do about it? Nothing? Okay. I don't need them. China's dependence on the straits in the future. Both countries agreed that Iran. Now, let me see. Wait a second. I want to read the translation of the actual foreign affairs. Right. Okay. So let me see here. Let me go to the source here. Is it different? Read out. Is this the same one? Hold on. Why am I not getting the original? Let me see here. I want the Chinese government's version of events translated into English. Let's see here. That would be interesting to know. And then there's some other sneaky little business about Elon Musk connected to this. Chinese government released its official English language readout through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, MFA, on May 14th, 2026. Their version focuses on high-level strategy, win-win cooperation, and very stern warning regarding Taiwan. Okay. Below is a translation of the key sections of the Chinese government's version of the events. Okay. The Chinese report frames the meeting as a historical turning point, using President Xi's signature major country rhetoric. Okay, yeah, it's kind of like that's how. I guess he needs support. He's always looking to be a great president at home, right? When was the last time you heard anything from Chinese people about how great it is in China? Now, Chinese people are great. They're different ethnicities, and they have great history, beyond communist China and beyond when they were became unified under Mao, right? But goes back long before that, their history. So, but when was the last time you heard anything, any media, Chinese media, any sources? I think I want to look into that to try to find some sources. But usually when they're plentiful, it's easier to judge, because when they're not so plentiful, then you kind of wonder like if it's enough to qualify certain things, But in any case, here, the Thucydides trap. Z asks, can China and the United States overcome the Thucydides trap and create a new paradigm of major country relations? Okay. Constructive strategic stability. She proposed a new guiding vision for the next 3 years called constructive strategic stability. He defined this as positive stability with cooperation as the mainstay, healthy stability with competition within proper limits. I wonder who the food is going to be. Competition within the proper limits. Okay, yeah, that happens every day. Look at Sudan. It's a lot going on. U.S. is not really that deeply involved, but some of their counterparts are, and some of China's counterparts are. Some of Iran is also involved. Russia is also involved in Sudan. It's pretty much a complete utter war zone. It's basically been turned into a death trap, a human death trap of starvation, genocide, and suffering. But here we go. Constant stability, the manageable difference, lasting stability with expectable peace. Okay, well, expectable peace. Okay. The warning on Taiwan red line. The Chinese version is much more explicit and forceful regarding Taiwan than the U.S. version. President Xi stressed that the Taiwan question is the most important issue in China-U.S. relations. Okay. So he's basically saying, if you don't give us Taiwan, fuck the rest of this. Okay. If it isn't handled properly, or if it is handled properly, the bilateral relationship will enjoy overall stability. Otherwise, the two countries will have clashes and even conflicts, putting the entire relationship in great jeopardy. So he's letting you know. He's telling Trump, if you do not give us Taiwan, stop selling Taiwan weapons, and do not interfere in what we are doing with Taiwan, or else. Okay. And Trump is pretty much saying, yeah, but Elon Musk needs some minerals for his machines. And, we've used all our missiles on Iran now, so we need your help to build up our stockpile again. So, yeah, fuck it. We'll give you Taiwan. Fire and water. She stated that Taiwan's independence. I mean, how are you going to fight China if you don't have enough missiles? Anybody got any ideas? So does the U.S., since the chat is open, let me ask the chat since the chat is open, does the U.S. need China to make more missiles? Yes or no? True or false? Put a 1 in the chat if it's true. Put a 2 in the chat if it is false. And no other comments will be accepted if you don't first reply 1 or 2. So 1, does the U.S. need China to make more missiles? 2, no, they don't. We don't need China for shit. Okay, I'm just look at Russell. Russell's like, 2, we don't need China for shit. Okay, why does Trump think so? Why are they saying differently? Why is Jeff is his name Jeff Sessions or whatever? No, Bezos. Why is he saying? Isn't he saying something different? Chris says, "Fuck no, we don't need China," but then he changed it to 1. Okay, so that means no. That means yes, we need China. Yo, but Chris, calm down now. It's like 10 yeses. I got you. Must be on a mobile or something. Yeah. In any case, yeah. It's interesting. Now, I think it's probably a mixed bag. It would be useful, but we don't need them. We don't need them. No. The moment you say you need them, it's a trap. So no, we don't need them. And this time I have to side with Russell Dixon. But you put me on blast the other day. Okay, man. I got you. Sorry about that. Now, nothing personal. But check this out. Really, I'm serious about this. I don't think the United States needs China to make missiles. But I wonder why our government is framing it that way. Why is our government framed? Now, let me just double check with this, because maybe that's not true. Let's see here. Is the U.S. government framing their meeting with China as one which they need mineral resources for military or or tech? Let's see here. True. Okay, yeah, let's see here. I just want to see. And again, I like to have some qualifying data. I don't like to just guess my way through everything. I always tell people if I guess something, and then I'll always tell people if I don't know something. And then if I'm incorrect, if I do know something, I tell people. And if I find out later I'm incorrect, I state it openly. Hey, for me, it's no big deal. It's part of being not being antisocial. You see what I mean? Antisocial people feel like they have to be right all the time, or they have a big deal admitting when they're not right. They're not willing to adjust. You know what I'm saying? They start locking themselves out from other people and views and, this kind of thing. I'm not like that. To me, it's just information. It's no big deal. You should want to guide your life by reality. If you want to live longer and healthier, but if you don't want to, it's okay. Now, the U.S. government is framing of the May 2026 meeting is exactly how you suspect. Damn. What? They are treating critical minerals and high-tech resources as a matter of urgent national security, particularly for military readiness and tech sector. Yo, I'm sorry. This is already checkmate. This is checkmate. Yo, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. This is fucking embarrassing. And Chris, pay attention, man. Stay on topic. You miss shit. Ask a good question like, who's your resource? What the fuck? Oh, who is the resource? United States Studies Center. USSC.edu.au. While the U.S. continues to rely on tariffs as pressure, goddamn, okay? Whew. Wow, man. This is sad, man. This is really sad. So apparently the government is framing it different than me. The government is framing it different from Russell, because me and Russell agreed this time. We both said, man, fuck no, we don't need them. But the government is saying something different, you know, and that's just the facts. That's just the facts. It's terrible. Let me see something here, because I don't like people just, you know, mouthing off here about other people. I'm a little more respectful. Yeah, yo, Chris, get out of here with that bullshit, man. I'm sorry, man. Look, this whole thing about, you know, Chinese restaurants, man. We're not talking about Chinese restaurants in America, dude. You got to learn how to stay on topic. Stop with your little bullshit distractions, man. People are tired of that, man. This is 2026. There's important elections coming up. We don't need little stupid ass trolls thinking about stupid shit when the middle class and poor are about to get gutted, okay, in the United States. Now listen, no matter who you are, even if you're a Twinkie running around talking about Donald Trump is my daddy, I'll do anything to make you happy, you need to register to vote, because the middle class and poor have less representation than ever in the United States right now. So be concerned if you're a poor farmer, if you're, regardless of what your ethnicity is or your background, if you are part of the poor and the middle class, you need to be preparing to you need to get registered to vote. How you get registered to vote is you got to make sure you call your county clerk, register of voters, board of elections, and ask them exactly what you need to register. What ID do you need to register in your specific state? Don't rely on information from another state. It is specific from state to state, and that is what you need to know. Now, once they give you that information, get those things, whether it's your birth certificate, whether it's your ID, whatever this ID that your state produces, go get it, go down calmly and register if you have the money to, because some states are charging like $50, $48 for a new ID. Now, be aware, others are charging $50 for a birth certificate or maybe more. Depends on what state you're in. Now, here's the thing, I believe, but here's the thing, you know, you have time, but don't wait, because even if you get the paperwork, it could still be delayed because it has to be processed, right? So don't do that. You know, don't do it too late, because your vote counts. And if you are living in a place where people are telling you that your vote doesn't count, then I'm here to tell you that whoever told you that doesn't care about you or anybody like you. They actually hate you and they want you to die. Okay, so if you get advice like that, just see it as slavery or Jim Crow or, genocidal kind of advice you give people that you want to die and lose power. And because your vote does count, and that's how you send your signal to the people, your representatives, on how you want them to spend your tax dollars that they collect from you every single day you lift a finger and earn some money. Okay? You pay people out of your daily life, like Elon Musk and Donald Trump and everybody in government. You paying them a piece of your check every time you go outside, and your job is to tell them how you want them to spend your money. And if you don't vote, you're not a part of that conversation. They could care less about you personally. Okay? They could care less about you. Even if you're a Twinkie dancing around talking about Donald Trump, you my daddy, I'll do anything to make you happy. No. If you don't vote, and even if you do vote, if enough of you don't vote in the middle class, in the poor, if enough of you don't get together and demand your rights together in a vote, you're fucked. Regardless of what your racial category is, or your color category is, or your gender category, or your sexual orientation middle class heterosexual white men are going to be devastated if they don't get enough middle class and poor black people and others, Hispanics, to vote with them. Your life is going to be devastated. Okay? So, and I'm going to be in Denmark sitting back watching it. Straight up. I'm going to be watching it. As an American here, I'm going to be watching it. It will be televised for me. The revolution will be televised. I'm going to watch. And I'm going to watch every bit of it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, let me see here. on to other news, because there is more news that's, it's just American, I guess you could call it. Is Elon Musk an American? Or is he more than an American? He's like 3 different citizenships. What are his citizenship? He's Australian. And what else is he? He's Australian. And what else? Let me look that up real quick. Where's Elon Musk from? I have no fucking idea. He's from South Africa. So maybe it's South Africa, Australia. Let me see here. Yeah, let's see here. Okay. Elon Musk holds 3 citizenships. Okay. South African born. So he's South African. Big up to South Africa. Yay. I hope he's better to you than he is towards us. Canadian obtained through his mother. Okay. So he's also Canadian. His mother, May Musk, who is a Canadian citizen, he used this as a stepping stone to move to the U.S., arriving in Canada in 1989. American. He became a naturalized citizen. So he's Canadian, he's U.S., and he's South African. So he's got 3 homes that he's got to be loyal to. Right? 3 homes that he's got to die for. Very, very different from those Twinkies we saw singing, Donald Trump, you are my daddy. I'll do anything to make you happy. It goes to show you, man, how loyal people can be to a fault. Now, here is the news about Elon Musk, courtesy of the Adam Mockler channel and one of his associates. What's his associate's name?
In a while about Elon.
Oh, let me see. What is his associate's name here? Chris, right? Exactly. Mowry. Chris Mowry. So let's hear what he has to say here. Big up to the Adam Mockler Network, indeed. Yo, I really like the millennials, and we're going to get into some millennial talk because the millennials are cold these days, and they are fighting. Appreciate it. Let's get together.
Musk.
Let's all get together.
And we should, because Elon Musk is actually in China right now with Donald Trump. Donald Trump's in China having these big talks with Xi Jinping, and he brought a host of people with him.
Big talks is another euphemism for nut licking. He's having big talks.
Including Elon Musk, including Tim Cook, and a bunch of other, big CEOs. Why? I'm still not really sure, but we have videos of some of these individuals in China. And first of all, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, I guess they're not they don't hate each other anymore. I don't really know. Elon Musk, said he was all over the Epstein files because he is, but I guess Elon Musk.
Hey, Todd, I see you, man. Todd Steiner, I see you, man. Oh, you're absolutely right. If Democrats get the seats they need in November in Congress and the Senate, it could mean the impeachment and conviction time for everybody. And that's exactly what, what's his stooge name? The old drunkard, the guy that was on his campaign the first time around, Steve Bannon. He said that. He said if Democrats get control of the House and enough seats, they're all going to jail, like straight up. And that's the facts. Those are the facts. So even if you don't care about yourself, but you hate Trump, do yourself a favor and you hate Elon Musk and you hate all these motherfucking billionaires, call your county clerk, register of voters or board of elections and make sure you are registered to vote. Even if it's not out of love for yourself and it's just out of hate for them, get busy. You can have that too. You can have both. Isn't that amazing? By voting, you can exercise and act on your in actionable ways regarding your hate for the billionaire class and your love for yourself. Just by registering to vote. So get out there, accomplish 2 birds with 1 stone. You can do that. It's a special day. It's not every day you get to do that, but on this time in history, you get to do that. 2 birds with 1 stone. Represent, both sides. Take out your hate, send some people to jail, and help your family. Okay, so let's hear some more.
Doesn't have any soul or conscience or any morality. What a surprise. So he's just like, it's fine. I'll hang out with Donald Trump again. And we also have videos of Elon Musk in China that I feel like relate to what we've been seeing from Elon Musk just over the last year or so. I think he's using quite a bit of substances, if you will. And we've got reporting on that, right? We have reporting of Elon Musk's substances, if you will. And
is that what it's called? If you will. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think it's called that. If you will. Substances. It's called K. What the fuck is he on, man? This dude is on substances for real. Yes, he's on a lot of them, and deep ones that turn your soul inside out. He's up in the meetings like this. Like, what the fuck? Dude, damn, man. What kind of shit this dude, man? Kids, don't do drugs. Stay away from drugs. It's not necessary. And if you do, definitely stay away from the shit that these people are on. These pills and all this shit. Yo, man, you don't understand this pill generation. There's so many people losing their livers, so many young people that, you know, they're actually going down because of all of this. What is this purple shit that drink cough syrup people are drinking, pills people are taking? Yo, it's killing people's livers and kidneys, man. It's killing young people. And Elon Musk is a grown-ass man. This is a real coward. This is a coward, yo. Because why do you need to escape reality like that? You know? Why do you need to? And, yeah, is he suffering? What the fuck is his excuse? What's his excuse, you know? But he even looks high right here. Straight up. Dude is right. Chris Mowry is right, man. He called it. He's on something. It looks like it.
That I feel like relate to what we've been seeing from Elon Musk just over the last year or so. I think he's using quite a bit of substances, if you will. And we've got reporting on that, right? We have reporting of Elon Musk's extensive ketamine use, for example, but it's bad. It's bad. So we're just going to talk about Elon Musk in general today. Before we hop into it, my name is Chris Mowry. I do a daily video here on the Adam Mockler channel. So it would mean a lot if you go right down below. Check out my YouTube channel. Hit like and subscribe. Really helps me out. You guys have shown me tons of support over my channel.
I'm already a subscriber to Chris Mowry and Adam Mockler. So yeah,
truly, I appreciate
if you haven't subscribed to the channels, go and subscribe.
Appreciate it.
Click the like button here also, and if you're not subscribed here, subscribe here also.
Here on the Adam Mockler channel, we're trying to build something big to punch back against MAGA media and do so uplifting Gen Z voices. So it'd mean a lot if also on this.
Exactly, Russell. Real men don't need drugs. We deal with exactly, man. That's too much. You know, occasionally I might have a sip of a glass of wine, a little bit, or a cocktail here and there, but I don't like to be intoxicated or out of my mind, and I don't like it regularly. It can't be a weekly thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm just not into that. I enjoy what I do. All the things I do, and the only way I can do that is if I'm fresh, you know what I mean? So this
video, you go down below, make sure you like and subscribe, share the video out. It helps us in the algorithm. You guys are all so kind, and Adam and I love you. Love you, love you, love you. Let's start with this clip that was very recent on Fox News.
The waste and report in entitlement spending, you know, which is most of the federal spending is entitlements. That's like the big one to eliminate, because that's the.
So you got to understand, when he says entitlements, what do you think he means? Now, chat, this is where you can help me out. What does Elon Musk mean when he says entitlements? So let's go over that. Let's go. Tell me, what does he mean? What do you think he means? Let me look at the chat and see what they're talking about. Medicare. Okay. What else? Anything else? Mike says, I seen a video of Musk walking with an uncontrollable junkie jerk. It was crazy. Yeah, I saw that video. He was right up inside of X, I think. Or no, inside of X. Yeah, in the aerospace thing. Just walking around like a zombied out, man. Like drugged out, straight up. Daycare. Entitlements, Social Security, exactly. You know, it's so funny. In Peep Game, they call it entitlements. Entitlements. Elon Musk doesn't need any of that shit. He doesn't need anything. He doesn't need daycare. He doesn't need Social Security. He doesn't need none of that. But the people who need that, he refers to those things as entitlements. Entitlements. It just sounds so privileged, you know what I mean? Like, he's talking about it like it's not a life or death thing, like it's not a freedom or death thing, like it's not a freedom or slave sharecropping thing. You know, you're either going to have a decent, dignified life as an American citizen, right, or you're going to be a sharecropper, you know, or worse, the rest of your time, paying off the bank debt, paying off just debt, can't afford it no matter how many hours you work. You see what I mean? And these things, Social Security, daycare, childcare, Medicare, these are things that are there to make sure that no matter what, at the bare minimum, you have a dignified life, even if you're not rich. I'm not talking about fancy life. I'm not talking about a limousine. I'm not talking about a Benz. I'm just talking about a roof over your head with running water, clean water, heat, access to a public transport system that gets you a reasonable amount of distance on time, that's reliable, health care when you get sick at work so you can get back to work, and some time off of work so you can deal with your family too, because otherwise, why are you working if you don't even have a chance to raise your kids? Child care might help. It's your tax money. He's calling your tax money entitlements. Just understand that. That's what he's doing. It doesn't matter what you use it for. He's talking about your tax money, and he's calling it an entitlement. Like it's something you don't need. Yeah, just be careful. Peep game, these guys, man.
Which is which is most of the federal spending is entitlements. So
like that, it's your money. Most of it's entitlements. Yeah, because we're entitled to it, bitch. What the fuck are you talking about? It's our money. And I can't wait until American citizens start seeing it as their country, their money. Because these people don't.
So that's like the big one to eliminate, because that's the sort of $500 billion, maybe $700 billion a year.
Entitled.
Yeah, I hope everybody subscribed in the chat, because what I do is once I start seeing just too much silliness in the chat, then I'm gonna go into subscriber mode. I like to have it open because I want to hear what people have to say. But if too many people aren't taking advantage of it, then so. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a little bit more time. So let's see. Just do me a favor, subscribe before I do that, because once I put it in subscriber mode, you're gonna be timed out for and if you're not subscribed, you will be timed out for like 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 30 minutes. So just letting you know.
Medicare, Social Security are entitlements, and
yep, that's what he's talking about. Entitlements.
And on Fox News.
The way it's important in entitlement spending, which is which is most of the federal spending is entitlements. So that's like the big one to eliminate, because that's the sort of $500 billion, maybe $700 billion a year.
Entitlements.
Listen, I see Russell said, I'm proud to say I was a single father, no form of assistance, and paid 80 what a month for my mother's kid. For my other kid. Okay. Sorry. Never a burden to society. Well, here's the thing. I'm curious. Like, why you think you can have the richest people on earth that have a bigger, the largest portion of the global wealth index, and you be in the same country thinking you're a burden? I don't understand how that works, Russell. And I think it's very skewed in terms of Western concepts, because most Western nations, if not all others outside of the United States, don't see health care and paid education, free education with a salary as a burden on society, when you have those things so you can be guaranteed that you're able to contribute 100% back to society. I'm just not understanding that, man. It seems a little skewed, Russ. I think you should look into that, man. Keep the research going, though.
Care, social.
Which is most of the federal spending is entitlements. So that's like the big one to eliminate, because that's the sort of $500 billion, maybe $700 billion a year.
Entitlements. Medicare, Social Security are entitlements, and we should eliminate them to fix our budget. Wow.
Now, since Russell, I want to make sure I understand this right, everybody. Do you believe that Elon Musk is right and that what needs to be eliminated are entitlements, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, child care, all of these things, handicap care. Do you believe that? If you believe the entitlements need to be eliminated because you don't want to see the United States go bankrupt, right? Because that's what they're talking about on Fox. Put a 1 in the chat. If you think that is psycho, right, sociopathic, put a 2 in the chat. I think it's psycho-sociopathic, so I'm going to put a 2 in the chat. It's your money, and he wants more for himself, and he's already got more money than anyone on earth, but he needs more money from you, and he's willing to cut your quote-unquote entitlements, which is your money? What the fuck? And then you're going to go out there and fight a war for his ass too, aren't you? After that, I bet you will, huh? Some of you will. I mean, I'm like, what the hell, man? What is it? Americans, man, yo, we got to grow up, man. We got to grow up in this democracy thing. We might have an old democracy, but we ain't grown up in democracy, yo. We're not grown yet, man. We're not grown. Everybody else has outgrown us in democracy at this point. You know what I mean? And it's because there's something else we're doing wrong. And we can only learn what we're doing wrong when we look at what others are doing. You know, we can't just make it up again all in our head. What the fuck? This is terrible.
Exactly who Donald Trump should, in this political moment of hell for Donald Trump, where his poll numbers are at all-time lows. And I mean, it's really spiraling out of control, truly, for the Republicans.
Right. He wants your tax money. He wants your tax dollars so you can go bomb Iran. He wants your tax dollars to give it to Israel, though. But he don't want your tax dollars to work for your entitlements. I mean, what is this? Anybody vote for Trump in the chat? I just want to understand. I want to be clear because I got some questions. As a matter of fact, there's the panel link. Hop on up, too, if you voted for Trump. And I want to hear, do you think this is right? Because Elon Musk is not talking about cutting off any money for him. He wants that tax dollars so he can keep doing his business with the U.S. government, because the U.S. government is the biggest purchaser of Elon Musk products. You see? So I'm just curious. Yeah, take it from us so the rich can eat. Dinky. Exactly, Smallwood. I got you. Exactly. I mean, we get taxed for not having health insurance. Thanks, Obama. Well, whose fault is that now? How long was Obama gone? You still blame? That's so childish. That's like blaming somebody who punched you in the stomach when you were a fucking kid. You know what I mean? And you're still thinking about that. If it wasn't for Johnny who punched me in the stomach when I was a kid, my life would be totally different. What the fuck? You're supposed to do more work after Obama. God damn, what's wrong with you? So where's the excuses? Where's the excuses, man? Secondly, if you're blaming Obama for something that Congress enacted, Obama can only sign what Congress votes on. Damn, learn your civics, man. Learn your civics. The Congress and the Senate are the ones who created the health care plan. It's not Obama. Obama had the choice to either get more of you on health care or keep it the way it was. And the way it was even worse. Okay, people were dying, okay, at the hospital doors, seriously. People are like, always got an excuse. This always goes back to when I was a kid, Johnny hit me in the stomach, and that's why I became nothing. It's like, damn, man, what the fuck? Is it that bad? You were that scarred by Obama? You was that scarred, huh? What, is Obama to blame because you got a divorce too? What the fuck? You pay child support. Is that Obama's fault? Yo, and that reminds me, I'm seeing so many men in the manosphere, so many men that have bad relationships with an ex that hate Kamala Harris. How is that a coincidence? These motherfuckers need to grow up, man. God damn, man. I swear. Donald Trump, you are my daddy. What the fuck, man? It's crazy. It is crazy, man. Y'all better get your shit together, man. Really. Get your shit together.
Republican Party.
Get some priorities.
And Donald Trump politically. Let's get this guy back on the scene telling people that he's going to cut their Medicare and Social Security. Also, Why is Fox News interviewing the guy that set up Doge and it was a complete failure? We ended up spending more money on Doge than we ever saved. And anybody with like a basic understanding of economics and a basic understanding of who Elon Musk is knew that that was going to happen. And then it happened. So why are we talking to him about what America should do not to go bankrupt? I feel like he's no longer credible in this conversation. Maybe pick somebody else. Okay. Let's go to a couple things.
He's making some sense. He's making a whole lot of sense. I mean, in fact, it's very accurate. Why do you get someone who failed at something, tremendously failed, and is actually could possibly go to jail, right, for committing federal offenses? Why would you ask him to come and give the American people more advice? That makes no sense. You know, that's called I own you, Fox. That's called everybody who works for Fox wish they had a job working for Elon Musk and don't know if they're going to have a job once the midterms are over. So they're looking for a job for Elon Musk. So their way of doing that is just kissing his ass and inviting him. Let's have Elon Musk up here. Let's give him some. You know what the deal is. When you're the wealthiest person on earth, any town you reside in, you end up owning by default. That's how it works. Jeffrey Epstein moved to New Mexico. He didn't own New Mexico, but the town, everything around that town became his property by default. He became a landlord and shit like that. The sheriffs knew him. Everybody called him first. Hey, we got complaints over this, people saying this and this. And they're like, no, Sheriff, I can assure you none of that. Sorry. Okay, Mr. Epstein. That's how it works. And Elon Musk has more money than Epstein. Okay, so everywhere he goes, that money permeates people. People with no ethics and no morals, their bones start to shake. They turn instantly into prostitutes. Straight up, for sale people. Even people at Fox News, and that's not the only place. Not the only news outlet.
Things of recent, and by of recent I mean in the last.
And pretty soon he's gonna have his robots beating your ass in the head. Like, one thing I would never understand is why would a person that's middle class or poor, which most of the people in my chat are definitely 99%, 98, maybe 95, or middle class and poor. Why would you ever cap for someone who fucking cares nothing about you? Why would you make excuses for it?
Year or so from Elon Musk, maybe in the last 6 months, because this guy is he's a bad person, you know that, but he's losing it. He's lost his mind completely, and I truly believe a lot of this has to do with the drug use. So let's take a look at this first tweet. Denmark wants to deport Audrey, who has lived here since she was a child, is a model student and has never committed a crime. Meanwhile, we essentially never deport violent criminal third worlders, as this tweet lays it out. Third worlders, that's gross. Our system is nonsensical, harmful, and shameful.
I think this is what they're talking about, election interference. So let me look this up real quick. Audrey and just so people know, it's there are always the immigration is always a topic. And not always, not only, it's not the only topic. There's loads of topics. But let me see here. It says Elon Musk did make a controversial post regarding a young woman named Audrey Morris in Denmark. The incident occurred in late December 2025 as continued to spark debate. So you can see this is basically election interference. It's leading up to the election. So he meant to kind of racialize, politics. And this is what he's doing across. He basically wants white people, quote unquote, right, to reform an Aryan nation, right, to be against basically Muslims, I think, Arabs, Asians, Africans, maybe loosely. I'm not sure. Don't quote me, but this generally this kind of thing, right? Okay, it says the post about Audrey in Denmark. Audrey Morse is a 19-year-old American citizen. So she's American, like myself. I'm American, right? I've been here. So Elon Musk would equate that to, I don't look like Audrey, so therefore they made a bad decision with me and her Audrey, right? But Denmark, I think they go by individual cases. There's no general rule. It's really a lot. I mean, there's general rules, but then there's a lot of specifics. That go along, right? So, and it's not the first American that's been that lost their residency permit, right? I heard there was one American woman who lost it. She had her kids here for some time, but she lived outside of Denmark, and then she came here again or something like that, and they didn't. It wasn't long enough for her to get work credits or something like that, and so they told her it was up because her kids were adults when she came back, and she didn't get the work credits all established, something like that. But again, don't quote me. Research. I can't remember every single case off the top of my head. I'm just a human being. All right. But it says here, despite being fully integrated and fluent in Danish, she faced deportation due to a technicality regarding her residence permit, which was tied to her mother's visa. Okay. So her residence permit was tied to her mother's visa. Right. So her mother is an American. Right. Now let's see here. When her story went viral, Elon Musk responded on X, formerly Twitter, to post to discuss her case. Right. The content. Musk wrote 8 or above level hotness should get an exemption. That's what he wrote. Right. And meaning her body type. That's what he wrote. She's 18 years old. Y'all peeping this shit, y'all? Let me go over to this. This is crazy. Yeah. This is very, very interesting. This is very interesting. But yeah, he wrote that about her. 18 and hot, 8 and above. He's writing this about an 18-year-old. See, Musk wrote 8 or above level hotness should get an exemption. He hangs out on Epstein Island. It's legal, but this is Musk. And Musk, ethics and morals and Christianity. How many baby mamas does he have? Anybody got as many baby mamas in the chat as Elon Musk? I mean, it's no big deal, but is that what Christians do? I guess that's what Christians do. I'm not judging. I'm just saying, that's the right wing for you. They're into that kind of stuff. Just judgment day stuff with people. But in any case, it says here, right now, the reaction, the post was widely condemned as creepy, sexist. Audrey herself responded in interviews stating she was floored and stunned that a person of his influence would reduce her 10 years of academic and social integration to a hotness rating. This is what she wrote. Due to a hotness, reduce her 10 years of academic and social integration to a hotness rating rather than focusing on the legal merits of her case. I understand that. Outcome. Musk eventually deleted the post, though screenshots had already gone viral global. Does the government consider this election interference? While Audrey's post was viewed more as a lapse in personal decorum than political conspiracy, the broader context of Musk's actions in 2025 and 26 has led to official accusations of election interference, though for different reasons. European Union perspective. The EU and Danish government do not officially classify Audrey's post as an election interference. However, they do cite Musk's broader use of X algorithm as a threat to democratic processes. The German connection. In early 2025, the German government and EU officials accused Musk of. So this is the game. What you got to understand is this is the game. This is part of Putin's playbook, right? What you do is you stir up trouble inside of a country with different ethnic groups or religious groups, with different minorities and majority populations, and you frame it so that immigration is a problem, and it's usually tied to ethnicity, right? And then what happens is that when this dialogue starts happening, then bots and trolls enter into your social media chats, and they start doing like some of them do here in my chat, trying to egg people on into a fight, into an argument, into disrespectful, and then finally hateful rhetoric about each other. That's what they do. That's how Trump won the election. That's exactly how they do. Then they start spreading lies, playing both sides of the coin, ... That's actually how it works. So let's hear some more now.
And this is a picture of an article. Audrey received a letter and now fears being deported after 9 years in Denmark. Elon saying 8 or above hotness should get you an exemption. Elon Musk is 54 years old. Talking about how this 18-year-old girl from Denmark who's about to be deported is hot.
Exactly.
All right.
And he doesn't even care anything about her case. Nothing. Not even looking into specifics or anything. It's a technicality, obviously. It might be overturned also. To be honest, at times things like that do get overturned. And Audrey may not be the only person that's experienced something like that, because Danish immigration is tight. It's tight. But there are things that they look for in their law. You see what I mean? And it sounds to me like her mom's visa may have lapsed. So usually if your mom doesn't have a permanent visa, then the children, if they don't have citizenship, if they're not born in Denmark, that usually becomes a priority. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But sometimes it gets overturned depending on your integration status, how well you've been integrated, how long you've been integrated, how long you've supported yourself. School is not just what they're looking for either. They're also looking for years of work experience too. Have you taken care of yourself? That's also plays a big role in Danish integration too. Not always, but obviously she came as a child, so I think it's something that could be overturned. It might be. I'm not sure. Let me look into it. Let me ask real quick too about this case while I play a little more.
Elon Musk is 54 years old. Talking about how this 18-year-old girl from Denmark who's about to be deported is hot. All right. I think, don't really think I need to add any more commentary on that. These are pictures of Elon Musk recently. What's going on with his haircut? I know this is kind of like a random interjection here, but also kind of just speaks to the sanity of the richest man in the world. What's going on here? Where are you getting your haircut by? This is kind of an interesting.
Okay. So here's the breakdown on it, right? There's something a little different going on here, right, with Audrey's case. And I'm not, it's not me that decides these things, obviously, because I don't work for the Danish government, obviously, and I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not a parliamentary member. You see what I mean? I'm also not a Danish citizen. But it says here, just for further reference, so people know, because I hate to hear sad stories like that, and then not have any outcome to them, right? But it says here, the story of Audrey and her mother. The family's legal issues began not with a crime, but with an academic pursuit and a technicality. Okay. The move, Audrey's parents, both U.S. citizens, moved from Los Angeles to Denmark in 2015. So her mother could pursue a PhD. The visa, Audrey lived in Denmark for 10 years as an accompanying child on her mother's residency permit. The mistake, in 2024, at age 18, Audrey moved into a dormitory at Viborg Katedralskole. Cathedral School. It's Danish. I'm sorry. I gotta pronounce it in Danish. I forgot. But to be closer to her high school, right? Okay. She dutifully updated her address with the National Registry. So it's a technicality. She changed her address. Under the Danish law, she has to live with her parent, right? It sounds like something like that. The trap, I think I heard about this case too. Yeah. Now the trap, because her residency was legally tied to living at her mother's address. So what she should have done, to be honest with you, in terms of the Danish law, I'm not an expert, but just a suggestion based on living here for 20 years, something, right? she might have want to applied for a different type of residency status based on her being in school, based on her already being in school, and on her own standing. And then once she got that, moved on, at least requested in advance just to be sure, because the Danish immigration law is tight. You need to know the law and how it works. Now, it appears that didn't happen here. So because her residency was legally tied to living with her mother's address, the act of moving out to go to school technically voided her permit. And that's sad. In early 2025, she received a letter from the Danish Agency of International Recruitment and Integration, SIRI, giving her 14 days to leave the country. The outcome of the case: following a massive public outcry in Denmark and the unintended international attention brought by Musk's hotness comment, the Danish government reviewed her case. Okay, 10-year residency. In late 2025, Audrey was officially granted 10-year residency permit. Right? This allows her to finish her education and stay in the country she considered home. Okay, the citizenship gap. In a strange twist of Danish law, while Audrey's mother and 15-year-old brother were granted full Danish citizenship, Audrey herself was denied citizenship because she was over 18 when the family applied. Yeah, that's Danish law. My kids are citizens, but their mother is a citizen now also. So, because she was 18 when the family applied, she had to meet adult criteria that she hadn't yet fulfilled. Exactly. So she should have stayed under her mom's roof until she could stand on her own. Basically, officially, that's what this is about. Because once you move out, then you're required to live under the adult requirement, and the adult requirements are much stricter. That's what it is. Okay. And so to meet adult criteria that she hadn't yet fulfilled, such as a year's full-time employment. That's it. You see what I mean? That's sad. Current status as a but it was overturned. So she got 10 years. So good luck to her. Kudos to her. I'm curious if I ever met her down here at anything. But as I said earlier, it's likely that it was overturned because things like this come up, and once they get into the public, I'm surprised they even gave Elon Musk the credit. To be honest, I don't know how revealing that is, how real that is. I'm pretty sure, because typically when this happens, Americans have a way of getting in contact with newspapers and making the story international here in Denmark. It's not the first time, So I think that, and it's not only Americans. A lot of different cases get overturned. I know a Ghanaian guy a technicality because of his work, he worked 2 hours, and he was on the adult requirements. He worked 2 hours more because he was a student. 2 hours and he was more than he was allowed to work. They gave him 14 days. And then because some cries to the public and things like this, it was overturned. He was allowed to have those 2 extra days work and still continue on his residency permit. So, yeah. But here's the thing about Americans. Americans don't want comprehensive immigration control. That's not what Americans vote for. Americans vote for going around patrols on the street, knocking people over the head, brutalizing American citizens, and finding out one by one just by looking at you walking down the street who's a foreigner and who's not. Yeah. So the United States requires a lot of immigrant work. There's a lot of jobs that American citizens don't seem to want to do, but yet there's a gap in the law. So people got to work it out. You know what I mean? Americans got to figure out, do they want comprehensive immigration reform? Do they want detailed immigration reform? Because immigration reform is something you should be constantly reforming. Right? That should be something Congress is always working on, because it's not an issue that just goes away. It's a constant issue. Right? So, we just got to get a government that wants some reform. So, no. Look, somebody in the chat says she should thank Elon. But listen, you didn't hear this? Where her comments were about Elon? Here, let me read it to you again. Maybe you missed this part. It was her reaction to Elon Musk, right? It's very important, if you care about her, to want to know where her reaction is, right? Yeah. Otherwise, your comment doesn't have anything about caring for her. It's more about kissing Elon Musk's ass, right? So here it is. Reaction. The post was widely condemned as creepy and sexist, right? Audrey herself responded in interviews. She responded herself. If you care about her, or even, if you care about immigrants, even, which you probably don't, right? Audrey herself responded in interviews stating, I got a lot of right-wing trolls in my chat, so that's why I'm speaking like this. Now, responded in interviews stating she was floored and stunned that a person of its influence would reduce her 10-year of academic and social integration to a hotness rating rather than focusing on her legal merit of her case. Focusing on the legal merit of her case. Yeah. He reduced her to just hot. She gets a 10. Why are they kicking her out? I guess that's how MAGA people want American immigration policy to be, based on how hot you are. Sounds very Trumpy-ish. So let's continue.
Is hot. Immense amount of control over it. Was Hitler a socialist? No. The Nazi Party. This is kind of an interesting look. All right. Let's go to more. This was from just the other day on Twitter. Hitler was a socialist, therefore all socialists are Hitler. At Grok, which is Elon Musk's own AI. I mean, he literally built it and has, immense amount of control over it. Was Hitler a socialist? No. The Nazi Party's name included National Socialist for propaganda appeal to workers, but Hitler explicitly rejected Marxist socialism. They purged socialists and communists, banned their parties, allied with industrialists, and ran a fascist system prioritizing racial nationalism and state-directed private enterprise.
Look, somebody in the chat, let me show you this. Somebody else said, it doesn't matter. He still helped her stay, right? But check this out. Jeffrey Epstein helped some people stay too. Are you okay with that too? I am him. See what I mean by the manosphere? Creepy ass motherfucking rapists up in here. It's okay. He still helped her stay. No, that's not okay. And she said it wasn't okay. And you might call it help, but it's not him who helped her. Okay? It's actually the Danish government. He just made one creepy post, man. And I don't believe at all it's because of that post. But even if it was, what did he intend? He intended not on really helping her. He intended on using her as a pawn. That's what he intended, as property, a tool. He didn't really care about her. And she said it. It's creepy how he, reduced my 10-year of academic study to being hot. Creepy is not a good thing to be called. And your comment, I'm him, is creepy. Okay? It's creepy, man. This is a no pedophile zone. Okay? Yeah, get the fuck out of here. You're right. Get out of here, motherfucker. And also next time. Okay. Yeah, actually, damn, I got to fix that. What's going on here? All right, let's continue here while I fix something. Damn, I didn't even realize that wasn't set up properly. Yeah, I don't want no pedos and creepy asses in here, man. You got to do better, man. You got to do better to expect better. Now, let me see here. Is this continuing? Here we go.
Class equity or worker ownership. So, again, does this guy... It's and this is the debate I have about Donald Trump a lot, is does he know he's lying? Is he so psychotic that he believes he's telling the truth? Is he just a raging narcissist? Obviously, Donald Trump now, a large portion of those questions are answered by he's in full, complete and total cognitive decline. But I mean, how, does he actually believe that Hitler was a socialist? I have no idea. This is crazy. Know. This is a crazy one from the other day. So this
doesn't even know.
May Musk, Elon Musk's mother. Listen to this closely. Your mom told me she was cleaning toilets in a Liverpool boarding house as a child. When I met her in 1966, she was sewing linings for a furrier in a small windowless room behind the store. And then somebody responding and getting a pretty good ratio here. Aren't you his mom?
Let me bring this back.
Listen to this closely. Your mom...
I was just getting the audio set up again. Here we go.
Told me she was cleaning toilets in a Liverpool boarding house as a child. When I met her in 1966, she was sewing linings for a furrier in a small windowless room behind the store. And then somebody responding and getting a pretty good ratio here. Aren't you his mom? because May Musk is responding to Elon Musk in this, saying, your mom told me. That's weird. Aren't you his mom? 12,000 likes to 4.3 thousand likes. This is actually sad. Elon is trying to post from his dad's account, but it's so much worse. His parents divorced in 1979. He's trying to create an alternate reality on Twitter where not only are his parents talking about him and to him, but they're talking to each other. And that's what's crazy is like, it's very clear that Elon Musk was actually attempting to post from his own account, but was, I guess, logged into the wrong account. Whose accounts does he have access to? His parents' account? Like, this is freaky. This is crazy. And the thing is I say a lot of that before we go to these videos from China. Like, what happened to this guy? This is 2017. Very proud to have scored 100 of 100 on the 4th year in a row in LGBTQ plus equality. This is from Tesla. Thanks to everyone at Tesla for making LGBTQ inclusion an important part of our culture. Elon responding in 2018, don't buy our car if that's a problem. People should be free to live their lives where their heart takes them. Yeah, no, yes.
Right. But so why does he support MAGA when they don't believe that? Like, what's the deal? And again, this kind of goes to the integrity of movements. When you accept help from the same people that help others that hate you specifically, what does that say about your movement? What does it really say about it? And vice versa. Not that that's exactly verbatim what's happening here. Let's put it in these terms. Why are you happy about, why would you give Elon Musk, a person that says he's for LGBTQ rights, why would you want to give him all access to federal government when your movement is against them? It speaks to the integrity of your movement. There's all types of different right-wing movements around the world. They're different, and they're free to express themselves however they choose to express themselves. But they can be called into question on their actions and their reasoning and their rationale. And I'm just simply asking, what's the rationale with that? Or does it speak to the poor, the legitimacy of the movement? You see what I mean? That's what I think it does. I think what it does is it exposes that what's going on the top is actually more liberal than the people you call liberal. But it's also more classist than it is anything else too. So they make rules for you on the bottom, and you stupid people on the bottom, you poor white Trump supporters and you poor black Trump supporters and anybody else, Hispanic Trump supporters and anybody else who supported him. You all fall for you fall for his dumb shit. He's able to come out and pretend like he likes you, right? And you believe it, and it's so hollow. And he's really just doing it for himself, just constantly over and over and over. And you still don't fucking get it. You
built this nation. You're just starting to get real crazy. And that's what you've been doing. And that's actually why you're here. You speak out for the values and principles that have made America the most exceptional nation anywhere on earth. And I will say this today is greater than it ever was before. Our military, our economy. African Americans built this nation. 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 African Americans.
And this is how Trump lies to every fucking body, and they all still get it, and they come out here and cap for his ass every day and shit. You know what I mean? They haven't figured out that now. See, they get fooled when he's lying to African Americans. African Americans, you should slap yourself in the face for believing him. But everyone else who believed him for his lies, you should do the same thing too. And you're so dumb, you haven't figured it out. What the fuck? You just as fucking dumb. You're just as fucking. You're not different, and I'm gonna prove to you how you're not different. I'm gonna prove to you because here's the thing: you emulate each other. This is some wild shit. This is just utterly wild. I mean, if you didn't do it, I wouldn't believe it. But it's there. You do it. It has to be believed because it's evidence. It's been found. It is just anthropology It is what it is. You share similar traits. Look.
I do anything to make you happy. Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy.
This is the this is the flip side of the African American coin that voted for Trump. This is the white version. Here you go.
Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy. Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy.
Next, he gonna start. You know, what is he gonna say next? This is insane. I mean, you know, if I didn't see it, I wouldn't believe it, but it's there. The anthropology is there. There's the evidence. There is the evidence. You're not that different. You all like rap music. You're all invested in rap culture. You know what I'm saying? But there's even some black dudes singing country music. I mean, I'm not hating. I'm just saying, what is the content? What's the content is all I'm talking about. Look, you can like it. It's no problem. But you're very similar still in the content. It's not just the medium, the content too. You see? Yeah. But in any case, let's go on.
What happened?
Let's move on. Let's move on.
I know what happened. And tremendous amount of ketamine and getting close to the richest people in the world. And I mean, obviously he was very wealthy back then, but you know, money corrupts, and drugs, the extended drug use. This guy's just not a good person.
Drug use.
Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison has now surpassed Elon Musk to become the world's richest person, with a net worth of $393 billion. We'll see how Elon Musk takes that. So this is now him in China, okay? And these are some pictures, right? You have all these people kind of with Donald Trump, traveling with Donald Trump. There's Elon Musk with his phone, you know, the Twitter crew coming out to support by any means necessary. Elon Musk is showing everyone there what freedom is simply by being himself. You got to love him. What does that even mean? He's just like got his phone out, taking pictures. That's just, I don't know. That's bizarre. And the thing is, as it relates to him being the world's richest person and going to China, Tesla reported Q4 2025 vehicle deliveries as a 16% year-over-year decrease, with total 2025 deliveries at 1.6 million, which were 1.64 million, which were also down from the prior year. And this relates to him going to China because, number one, Donald Trump is like really hurting the economy, right? Slamming all these tariffs, U.S. GDP, like our growth has declined significantly. The labor market.
All right. So, yeah, but you get the gist. I mean, they're all, you know, they're tampering with so many different things. Listen, why does Elon Musk care about an individual girl in Denmark? I'm not saying that people don't do this, but I'm talking about Elon Musk. Why does he? And it's not Denmark that is not that's policies are all screwed up. You see what I mean? Now, don't misunderstand me. Every country has political debate among different political parties where they try to find common ground, and they debate issues. What can be done better? What is a problem? Every country, that's what a democracy is. So a functioning democracy discusses issues, good and bad, things that need to be improved and things that are just fine. That's what happens in a normal society every day, in a healthy society. But generally speaking, Danes have a higher quality of life than American citizens, generally speaking. So why does Elon Musk care about this one American in Denmark? Because I'm going to tell you, Danes probably care more than he does about her. I'm just saying, I'm going to tell you that me living in Denmark that long, I'm telling you, Danes probably actually care a little about her. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, I'm just saying it. Likely way more than Elon Musk does. Because Elon Musk uses people like tools to cast out anytime he wants. You see, so it's not the same type of dynamic going on, because Elon Musk doesn't want the same thing. You know, he doesn't even care for the people of the United States. Denmark, what is it like? I think McDonald's like, you know, what is the difference in the job at McDonald's? Let's take a look at that real quick before I get out of here, because I just want to make sure people get this right. So that they don't get manipulated by his little stunt. What is the difference in the quality of life and rights of a McDonald's employee in the USA and in Denmark? What are the differences in the lifestyle and rights? Let's just see here to make it very clear. Because, this is the things I like to talk about. I like to highlight some things that are useful for Americans, not just for people that want to start a culture war. Now, if Danes want to have their cultural dynamics, hey, go for it, because they were having this long before I arrived here. And I'm aware of a lot of it. And I have my own unique view on these things, that I've been allowed to formulate, based on my experiences, but which I talk about often, right? Not all of it, but I talk about enough. Americans might want to know a little bit about that. Now, the difference between working at McDonald's in the USA versus Denmark is a classic case of study in two different economic philosophies. Okay, not the same. Free market at will, USA versus social democratic flexicurity, Denmark. Flexicurity is a term here. As of 2026, here's how the lifestyle and rights of a Mick worker compare. Okay, let me just open this up a little bit so people can see more of it. Right, let's flip out. Boom, boom, boom. Let me see here. Can I do it here? Yeah, I'm gonna do it on this one. Make it a little smaller so everybody can see. Click the like button. I hope you appreciate what I'm doing over here. How you show that is by clicking the like button and subscribing, or you can send a brother a Cash App too. I don't care. It's up to you. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to, and I know everybody doesn't have it. But let's see here. Here we go. Now, let's go through the data. Right now, payment benefits. USA average federal, Denmark unionized. Okay. Hourly wage at McDonald's in the U.S. varies by state between $12 and $15. Denmark unionized, $22 an hour, 155 Danish kroner an hour. Okay. Do you know what 155 Danish kroner an hour is? What is 155 DKK in USA? Just so everybody knows here. I think it's what 100 and what is it? 20 something dollars maybe? Yeah, 22.47, right? So 22.47. Now, so it's significantly higher in Denmark, right? Now, before you rush to judgment and say, yeah, but the cost of living over there is more expensive. Yeah, slow your roll. Trust me, there's a lot more before you make a judgment that you might want to know. Okay, because we talking about lifestyle, so we talking about what adds into that with the other things, right? Isn't that also part of lifestyle? Right, it's not just your hourly wage, although it's more. Now, as you can see, look at this. McDonald's in the USA, 0 days. Company policy varies. Denmark, 6 weeks, 30 days total. They get 6 weeks paid vacation here. Sick leave, often unpaid or limited in the USA to 5 to 10 days. Denmark, fully paid, employer state funded. If you're sick for a month, you get your salary. Or 80% of it or something like that once the government kicks in. Yeah, you could be sick for 2. What if you get COVID? What if you get a disease that's very harmful? Yeah, well, your unemployment kicks in. I mean, not unemployment, your sick leave kicks in. So you get better. If you don't get better, you don't get better. So you're still on sick leave. Of course, you got to go see a doctor, and the doctor has to continue to say, yeah, you are sick. And, every month or every, couple of months, they check in on you to see how you're doing. And of course, you need a diagnosis, right? Or, if they can't diagnose you, then you go to a private hospital to see if they can diagnose you, and the state pays for that too. On and on and on. There's a lot of different things that go on, but the long and the short is you're on sick leave. Now, overtime, McDonald's worker in the United States, 1.5 after 40 hours. That's what you get. You get a time and a half after 40 hours. Extra pay after 40 hours. Extra pay after 6 p.m. on Sundays. That's McDonald's. Okay. After 6 p.m. on extra pay after 6 p.m. on Sunday. I don't know what that really means. There's also some hourly stuff that they have in Denmark too, I'm sure. Healthcare tied to job, often expensive in the USA as a McDonald's worker. Healthcare in the U.S. Free university healthcare. Free universal healthcare. I'm sorry. Tax funded. So, workers' rights, job security, at will doctrine, USA in most states. The McDonald's employee is at will, meaning they can be fired at any time for almost any reason or no reason at all without a notice. Whoosh! Get back to work, slave. The agreement, Denmark. Denmark is no national minimum wage, right? Instead, McDonald's workers are covered by a collective bargaining agreement with 3F Union. That's a workers' union. The workers' union sets the trade union regulations for a whole specific industry. Not only that different restaurants and different ones, different industries fall under 3F. Different unions set different industry standards for the country. Right? So Denmark's a big union country. Yeah. So when you go to McDonald's, the person there gets a union wage, which fits to the standard of life inside of the economy at the current moment, based on how much rent costs, based on how much food costs, based on how much transportation and certain expenses, monthly allowances need to be for each individual, stuff like that at a bare minimum. Termination. Employees like Elon Musk doesn't give a fuck about. He cares about the one girl getting kicked out or about to get kicked out, even though she didn't get kicked out, thankfully. But he doesn't give a fuck about anything else about people in the U.S. He didn't give a fuck about your trade union. If you have one, most of you probably don't, right? I don't know about this chat, but most Americans don't for sure. Termination. Employers must provide a valid ground for dismissal, right, in Denmark, and usually a notice period of at least 1 month. That's in Denmark. Danish workers receive 10% employer-paid pension contributed by default. Yeah. Whew. Lifestyle and social security net. Most significant differences isn't the number of the paycheck, but what that paycheck has to cover. U.S. lifestyle. An American co-worker often lives in survival. A McDonald's worker often lives in survival mode. A single medical emergency or car breakdown can lead to debt or homelessness. Education, university, usually requires student loans, and child care can cost more than half of the monthly home pay. Danish lifestyle, a Danish worker pays higher income taxes, approximately 36% for this income bracket, but in return, the university is free, and the government actually pays students a monthly stipend called the SU. Childcare is heavily subsidized, capped at a small fraction of income. Unemployment insurance is robust. If you lose your job, you can receive up to 90% of your salary for a period. Cost of living, the Big Mac context. Critics often argue that higher wages in Denmark make everything more expensive. I knew people would say that. That's why I started off with that. Big Mac price. A Big Mac in Denmark is typically only 25 to 70 cents more expensive than in the USA, despite the workers making nearly double. Wow, so they make more anyway. Regardless of it, it might cost a little more, but they make even more than that. So that means Americans could pay McDonald's workers a little more anyway without making any changes. Purchasing power, if they want to, but it's all about, do you care about your citizens? Do you care about people in general? Do you live in a society where people care about each other, or do you live in one where it's me for all for me? Okay? Just everything is just me. As long as I'm good, fuck it. All right? course, people are ashamed to be confronted with that reality, but that's pretty much what it is. Okay. Purchasing power. While a latte or a beer is more expensive in Copenhagen than in Cleveland, a Danish worker has more disposable income because they have zero monthly costs for health insurance, tuition, or higher interest debt. Summary. The vibe. In the United States, a McDonald's job is often viewed as a starter job or a high-stress survival job. Power dynamics favor the employer. Like Donald Trump. In Denmark, or Elon Musk. In Denmark, it is a respectable unionized service job. It is possible to afford a small apartment, go on vacation, and raise a child on a fast food salary without falling into poverty. Yeah. Well, it's a matter of values, you know. It's a matter of values. People do what they want. People vote for what they want. And if you think things should change, you know, you could always go down to your voter registration office, call your county clerk, register of voters, board of elections, and make sure you're registered to vote and registered in your state with the correct address so that you can have a voice in how these things work in the society that you live in. That's an option. It's an option 80 million Americans, 90 million Americans opt out of. I wonder if you're one of them. Oh, well.
Is practically flat and not moving. Inflation is exploding. And so it's probably just generally hard to sell cars right now. But also, Elon Musk, not just in the United States, but worldwide, is so unpopular and it's hurting his business. So I wonder if in this kind of ordeal, that's why we've made our trip to China to see what China can do for us. So this is a video here. It doesn't have any sound, but that's Donald Trump walking there. He's in China. He's in China for the next few days. And if you can see all the way in the back there is Elon Musk behind Donald Trump's children.
Yeah, so it's a double play on American citizens. What they're doing is looking to enrich their own pockets. That's what it is. You know what I mean? And it's a double whammy. If they get a little something to make some missiles with, great. But if they don't and they get something for their own private businesses, great. It's called selling out the country. You're last. And why not? You know, isn't that the way of capitalism? Isn't that the way of the American? As long as I'm okay, everyone else just need to figure out a way themselves, pull themselves up by their own bootstraps. What do you think? Or is it America like Denmark? Is the U.S. like Denmark? Union jobs, McDonald's workers have vacation, don't have to fear being fired. And shit like, yo, Denmark has 80% of the people that vote. The United States has 60% of the people that vote. Yeah. So, the United States is a richer, more wealthier country, more wealthier than ever. The richest country on earth. Still making up excuses, for being basically not caring and irresponsible. I get it. No worries. I understand it. It's hard to look in the mirror. But thankfully, I don't have to look in the mirror as an American because I don't live in the United States. I live in Denmark. You could take all the time you want looking in the mirror in the United States. No problem. Take all the time you want, man. I got forever. I have forever. I got forever to wait. I'm going to wait with my vacation. By 90% unemployment. I got all the time to wait. I'll wait while my kids go to school and work their way through college. I'll wait. Don't worry. I got all kinds of time, man. Don't worry. I'll survive it. I'll survive the wait. Will you? Okay.
So it appears that they've, again, squashed their little ordeal. And by little, I mean Elon Musk saying, Donald Trump, you're a pedophile.
Money always brings crooks together. Crime will bring a crook together faster than anything else.
Wow.
It brings murderers and rapists together all the time. It brought people together on Epstein Island. It brought them to Epstein's apartment.
I don't know how you squash that. I have no idea. Is somebody going to ask him about it? Probably not. Another video here from China. Again, this is at dinner, okay? Donald Trump is there. Xi Jinping is there. A lot of people are there. Elon Musk is out of his mind. Okay, and we have seen videos like this before. He's just on ketamine. He's got so much ketamine going through him. There's really not much else to say about it. And we have the reporting on it. We have videos similar to this where he just is out of it. That's him taking photos with Tim Cook, making funny faces. He can like never relax his face. He's out of it. And again, the video we get from China, we have all these leaders standing here. You have Scott Bessent. I think that's Pete Hegseth right there. That's Tim Cook next to Elon Musk. And Elon Musk is, dude, this guy is insane. I'm going to replay this. He's spinning in circles. He's spinning in circles, taking like videos of, I don't know, he's an investigative journalist, folks. What are you doing?
Yeah, the guy's high, man. The guy's high. That's just it appears like he's high, you know. It appears like he's on substances, you know. And it is what it is, whether people really care about it in the United States or not. I don't think bigots care. A white supremacist is going to stand behind a white supremacist to the end. They don't care if they rape kids. They don't care what they do. It's just going to be they're going to find a reason why that's okay too. You know, they don't like the druggies, but they like the druggies. They don't like the criminals, but they like the criminals. You know what I mean? They pardon the criminals. They don't like drug dealers, but they're going to pardon cartel members. You know, sex traffickers, pardon them. No problem. We only talking about the richest ones, not you little pawns on the bottom. You all don't mean shit. Okay. But the ones on the top, they will get their fair share of freedom. Via the Trump administration. It's just how it works. And it's higher. It's just for hire. You come with money, you get what you want, but it's got to be real money, you know? Real money. None of this petty ass money, you know? So don't start thinking if you just middle class and poor that you can get that you're going to get that kind of help, because it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. You're not in that class. You're at the bottom with the other people, you know? Even if you don't like the other people, that's where you are. That's got to be a nightmare too, I guess. Not liking the people that you're not liking your own class. Damn, that's deep, yo. Yeah. But in any case, I don't have a problem with my class. I'm fine. I accept who I am.
Gallery delivery is now better than ever.
I accept life. It's a good life too, and I accept it as it is. You know, but then again, I also had to pay the cost to be the boss. I had to make choices for my life, you know, but I'm happy with my choices. I'm happy with them because some time ago, I already knew the U.S. was full of shit somehow when it comes to classism. You see what I'm saying? So I was never afraid to travel outside of the U.S. I traveled to many places before I came to Denmark and after. You know, the world is a big place. You should get to know it sometime if you have the freedom to, right? But, you know, here in Denmark, people in my class, we do have the freedom. The average American in this, you know, same class, I guess you could say it's the same class that doesn't. And there's way more of you that don't. So, but if that's the society you want to live in.
Closing arguments are expected today in the landmark OpenAI trial. Elon Musk is accusing the co-founders of double-crossing him and stealing a charity by turning OpenAI into a for-profit company after he left. But OpenAI says Musk knew about the company's future plans and only sued after failing to become CEO. Now the jury could start deliberations as soon as today. Let's bring in ABC News legal contributor, Hofstra Law Professor James Sample for more. Hi, James. What are you expecting to hear from closing arguments today?
Well, closing arguments, Diane.
So that was yesterday. They just started in the closing arguments yesterday while Elon Musk was overseas.
And will be a sense of competing narratives. The narratives that have been built over the course of 3 weeks of trial basically boil down to two very different stories, very dominated by personalities and by the individuals involved. And the legal questions, not so much. And we'll see how that plays with
What's
the
up,
jury.
Marianne?
You know, Elon Musk's lawsuit essentially says that Sam Altman and the OpenAI team turned turned what was supposed to be exclusively, or at least primarily, a nonprofit into one of the biggest companies in America on a for-profit basis. Sam Altman and the OpenAI team say that Elon Musk is essentially a sour grapes individual who had an opportunity to stay with the company, who himself saw the need for a for-profit model, and who left under really bitter and unpleasant terms, and who wishes that he had not left. So closing arguments will be summaries of what we've heard so far in this trial, those two very different narratives. One of the interesting things will be the way in which the attorneys characterize the testimony, because we've seen testimony in this case that whatever else one might
the King
happen
of the
in the
United
trial
States
is very different than the normal day-to-day that these two individuals experience. Both Altman and Musk, as well as other individuals, had to answer a number of questions that in normal circumstances where they could control the environment, they would have preferred to avoid.
And Sam Altman, in his testimony, among other things, said that Musk tried to fold the company, OpenAI, into Tesla. How critical is his testimony to this case?
It's very critical, and that move to try and fold it into Tesla is very important for the Altman and OpenAI side of things, because it says, in essence, that this is tangible evidence that Musk himself wanted to turn OpenAI into a for-profit company. He just wanted it to be his for-profit company. Now, Musk would counter and say that OpenAI was undercapitalized and Tesla had the resources that OpenAI desperately needed. But the idea of folding it into Tesla, which Altman and the OpenAI board rejected.
Yeah, Marianne, I'm in Denmark. I'm in Copenhagen, Denmark. Let me see. You said you're from Gracia. You're from Italia. Okay. You're in Italy. Let me see something here. I got to remember, because I get confused with Spanish and Italian. Como se dice? Did I say that right? Como se dice? Is that right? It has to come back to me. It's so funny. I was just in Spain, and for some reason, my Spanish and Italian was creeping back into my brain. But I was getting confused because of that, because two of them, they're both similar Latin languages. But I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing well over there in Italy. What part of Italy you from, or are you in? Let me know. Yeah, let me see here. San Diego. Yeah, Eric's in San Diego. Buongiorno. Yeah, buongiorno. Yes, you said it pretty well. Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you. I thought I had to. I confuse Spanish sometimes. I guess como se llama is in Spanish and yeah, but I forget. I'm sorry. I got some Italian skills. Quanto costa? Como se dice? Yeah, I know how to ask. How do you say something? Yeah, exactly. Como se dice? Retard. No, not retard. I'm sorry. That's wrong. Como se dice asshole? Italiana. That's how do you say that? Yeah. Anyway, let me get on, man. I don't want to offend anybody. Let me see here. I took 4 years of Spanish and then 4 years of Italian, so I get it. They're very similar. Yeah, they creep in at different points. A Spanish woman asked me how I was doing when I was leaving the apartment on vacation, and I stopped for a second because I heard what she was saying. She was behind me, and then I turned around and looked at her and I said bene because I forgot what it was in Spanish, But she understood me, though. She understood me. And then she said, thank you, gracias, when I opened the door for her, Yeah.
Doing is an indication, at least on their side, that Musk himself.
Oh, you're from D.C. There you go, Marianne Douglas. Okay. From Washington, D.C. and also live here in Roma. Okay, what part of D.C. you from? I'm from Capitol Hill East and Anacostia. I'm from 15th and C Northeast and Anacostia, the historic district, Mount View and Maple View. Over that, if you know Anacostia, off of Good Hope Road. Yeah, not far from the Frederick Douglass home. Yeah, okay.
Wanted to turn
big up to Italy and Spain, everybody out there.
It into a for-profit entity, just one that he could control.
What do you think each side needs to do in these closing arguments?
It's a really good question. Normally, I would say that each side would try and summarize their arguments. That's what you do in closing arguments. But this is a case where the personalities are so outsized, and because the jury verdict here is only advisory, this is a rare circumstance where whatever the jury decides, the judge will have full discretion to decide whether or not to go along with the jury verdict, and the judge.
My prediction is that the closer it gets to the midterm, the more these groups are going to start fighting, the more the Trump administration is going to start fighting each other, because they're going to realize that impending doom is definite, and that's where they're going to start going against each other. I'm pretty sure about that. And but listen, it depends on, because these people they depend on information. These people depend on polls. They depend on, and they collect data. And if the data doesn't look good, that's what's going to help them go into crisis mode and start killing each other, figuratively speaking. Now, what you can do to help that is register to vote, call your county clerk, register of voters or board of elections, and make sure you are registered to vote and registered in your state with the correct address. That will help speed up the process, because the more they can count, they will see a rise in voter registrations. They will see that, and that's going to even send them into more panic mode. So if you are tired, this is one. It's not just the voting day. It's the rise in registered voters that's going to scare the shit out of them. Yeah, Go Ahead Road. Yeah. DD, I see you. Okay. Go Ahead Road in the house. You've been down there to the Anacostia, is it the Anacostia Museum? No, it's not museum. It's art center. Yeah, Anacostia Art Center on Go Ahead Road. Yeah, there's some good people down there. Yo, seriously, go out there and register to vote. Big up to Anacostia. Yeah, the big chair and all that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get off, but I'm going to stop here. But I would say this, man. I grew up in Anacostia and I grew up in Capitol Hill East. I grew up on Capitol Hill. Moved to Anacostia when I was 7, lived there until I was 14, moved back to Capitol Hill East, 15th and C when I was 15, and then stayed there on that side of town the rest of my adult life, right? Capitol Hill. Now, and Capitol Hill East. Now, what I could say is that I had a beautiful town to grow up in. It was a different DC back in those days, a very free DC. We would ride our bikes all over the city as kids. 7 years old, 8 years old, I was riding, all as a young teenager, we could ride our bikes anywhere across the city. It was a pretty relatively peaceful city. Maybe DC got a little rough in 1985, 86, on from that point, 86, 85, 87, yeah. So those times were a little different for DC, but what counts is that I had my formative years from birth to 15, where it was very, 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 very peaceful. Beautiful city, beautiful parks, loving community, a place where the police weren't harassing us, things like that, kids. Nah. Very supportive city, a lot of good people. Yeah, but DC's so gentrified now. But not that all those people aren't good. There's a lot of good people that come to DC all the time and get what's going on and stand up. DC got a strong tradition of people standing up together, and thankfully, because of the 70s and 80s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, that's the kind of tradition they got in DC, and it extends beyond racial groups, People are pretty intelligent in that city, but the city is being pushed to the limits right now. So Mayor Bowser, we got to get somebody better. I'm not with it anymore. I'm not with it. I'm not blaming one person, obviously, you know what I'm saying? But I would just say it's what's happening in DC is what's happening overall across the United States of America. We don't invest in our youth. We don't. And we don't invest in our human capacity, our people. And this is what it looks like when you don't do that, and yeah, I wish it was different. Can it be different? Absolutely, it can be different if you register to vote. But if 90 million American people ain't going to vote, then it ain't going to be different. You're just pushing it on to the next generation. hoping that they can do something about it, or accepting just a little change. Why accept a little change when you need great change at this point? Great change comes with great participation. And it's all about your vote. And if you're not willing to vote and you're willing to work your ass off and pay taxes, I don't see you as anything else but a slave myself. A modern slave, but still a slave nonetheless. So how you decide, how a government decides how it uses its tax dollars is based on how the people of the country vote. And if you're not going to vote, stop saying you care about your community. Stop saying you care about kids. Stop saying you care about elderly. Stop saying you care about women, children. Stop saying you care about your brother. You don't. Yeah. On that note, I'm out, y'all. I appreciate everybody's time. Big up. Click the like button if you don't mind. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Yeah, we got until the midterm elections, and we're going to see how it goes. But I'm going to stay true to this the whole time. So, and please, thank you everybody in the U.S. that's standing up for your rights, no matter who you are. And I'm talking about people that mean well. I'm not talking about you bigots standing up for your rights. I'm talking about people who aren't bigots. Okay? People that understand the United States population is diverse and always has been. You people standing up for your rights, thank you very much. Decent Americans. Americans that want to treat each other with decency regardless of their background. Thank you very much for standing up for yourselves and standing up for our country. Yeah, because I'm outside. And as much as I'm grateful for being outside, I feel very troubled in my heart when I look back at my own country, because I'm still an American citizen. I'm not a Danish citizen. And but I'm proud. I'm not ashamed to be American. But it's the first time in my life I've thought about, like, if my country doesn't get it right at 2026, like, yo, man, what good is the goddamn citizenship? Like, and it's sad to say that, but but I'm grateful for living in Denmark. It's one of the best countries in the world, and I'm grateful for the Danish society. Very good people. And if you they believe in human rights, they believe in civil rights, and they believe in being reasonable. You know what I mean? And I would advise people that live in Denmark, young people, to embrace what you have, because we don't have it in the U.S. And you need somebody like me, an American, to tell you this. Even the young people here, like, embrace what you have, the rights you have. Don't get caught up in a bunch of foolishness, and don't think that you can change all the problems in the world, at one time. Take advantage of the opportunities you have to better yourself here. And then once you get your education finished, once you get your foundation set, once you become strong, then move out and embark in the rest of the world to make changes. You see what I mean? Like, make sure you do not neglect yourself, okay? And neglect building yourself up to be ready for your day to take action on something, okay? And Denmark allows everybody to do that. So take advantage of it. Yeah, I will see you guys. I appreciate everybody coming out. All right? Fuck Trump. Fuck Elon Musk. To hell with them. Save our country, man. Thank y'all. Peace. Release the Epstein files. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do it. And if they don't believe us, we're going to show them. We're going to teach them.
They don't know that I'm going to make it right tonight. They don't lie, but I'm going to say it like I know. They don't know that I'm going to hit them with this shit. They don't lie, that I'm going to be your mind tonight. Born on this planet full of hate, inherited from our harshest past. Embedded in our society's identity. But then again, can you tell me that's free? They explain to you what your mind should perceive. Suggest things they want you to believe, like your skin color dictates your race. They're calling you an idiot to your face. Like, life is much more simple than that. We're all slaves and the cards are stacked. While we fight over problems we can fix, industrialists turn our
kids to addicts. The television does a job, introduce you. The radio's right there to seduce you. Keep you locked on the wrong damn track. Cigarettes is just legalized crack. They want you to catch a damn heart attack. They want you to catch a damn heart attack. What? Stop believing in the flag, it's a trap. Cause men rule this world, that's a fact. They don't know, they don't know. But I'm gonna make it right tonight. They don't lie, they don't lie. But I'm gonna say it like I know. They don't know, they don't know. That I'm gonna hit them with the shit. They don't lie, they don't lie. That you're gonna free your mind tonight, 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 tonight. That you're gonna free your mind tonight, 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 tonight. That you're gonna free your mind tonight, 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 tonight. That you're gonna free your mind tonight, 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 tonight. If you see a man that needs help, then help a brother. If you see a sister on her own, still love her. Cause life is about how you choose to see it. But you gotta teach people how to learn to see it. The planet's been through suffering many times. We propagate many wars many times. The people need to wake up and stop accepting deceit from their own government's deception. You can't blame the people for needing protection from the government's bad reputation. We need to sing a song called Free the Nation. Cause we done had a whole lot of separation. Racism, classism, nationalism, based on keeping people out on the plantation. That's the plan, no doubt. Cause rich people got a plan, no doubt. If you still don't understand and believe that we are all one from the same mother and respect each woman and man with the same consideration you would like to be given on a daily, then you need to retire so the new generation can take over and show you how to live and govern this place we call Earth home.
Everybody here, yeah.
Check it out. They don't know, kid. They don't know, they don't know. But I'm gonna make it right tonight. They don't lie, they don't lie. But I'm gonna say it like I know. They don't know, they don't know. That I'm gonna hit them with this shit. They don't lie, they don't lie. Orientation in this place we call Earth. Love from conception from your mom, your birth. Pops planted the seed in the turf. From there, you must find out what life is worth. Grew up learning your do's and don'ts. Before working on your motor skills, working on your coordination, right? an orientation to what you like. The brand new thing, so gentle the soul we're capturing. In this distance, the alphabets the kids sing. They celebrate when it's time to go outside. As you get older, you learn to let all the troubles in your life just glide away. Stay focused, keep it smooth, keep you cool. Things in life can make it get rude. If you let it, don't let it. 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 If you let it, let it. Let it, what? If you let it, don't let it. Let it. If you let it, what? Don't let it. If you let it, don't let it. Let it. Don't let it. We got what you need, you want it. We know what you want, we got it. We know what you feel, you want it. We got what you want, you can have it. We got what you need, you want it. We know what you want, we got it. We know what you feel, you want it. We got what you want, you can have it. We embark on this journey for your soul. We wanna have a good time. That you know you can't deny. We're just slipping in and out on a journey, you and I, on a mission to salvation. Our spirit be our transportation. We think you'll do a little love and that is true. For real, we bring something that you know you can't deny. We're just slipping in and out on a journey, you and I. Bring it. We got what you need, you want it. We know what you want, we got it. We know what you feel, you want it. We got what you want, you can have it. We got what you need, you want it. We know what you want, we got it. We know what you feel, you want it. We got what you want. I'm having feelings I never felt in my life. It's hard to explain what I'm going through is new. I'm good looking, clean up well, but without this fine young little lady, I'm still in hell. She's brown skinned, Eritrean. Love every second of the time that we spend. We're good friends, there's no need to pretend. The way she walks and moves her hips, those smooth curves, I just love to kiss. It's Sunday morning, make her breakfast in bed, bring her a latte and chill up in the spread, and manifest all the thoughts in my head. The comforter of my life. You know what? She may not know what I want her to be my wife. It was my fondest wish to stay the night. She's doing fine on her own, about to buy a home. Me, I'm working out some shit, but I've grown. I'm working hard to keep things right. Focus on my music so we can have a life outside of the system and the bright lights. She feeds me juice and curry when I'm hungry. Caress me on my body, it feels lovely. A lot of pain that I took on in my life, I need you to make it right. Need you to make it right. The feelings I'm feeling, it's real in my life. I know you're something special, want you to be my wife. All I need to know is will you treat me right? I wanna make love tonight. The feelings I'm feeling, it's real in my life. I know you're something special, want you to be my wife. All I need to know is will you treat me right? I wanna make love tonight. Brown eyes, caramel skin, beautiful face, where do I begin? Your hips, they keep making me excited. Your breasts, just how I like it. If you're the key to my life, then will you be there for me? All I'm asking is will you trust in me? It's complicated, but I wanna do it right. If we keep true to the love, we can make life. Your destiny is to be with me. I'm waiting for you to be one with me. Your soulmate, I would do anything for you. Baby girl, it's you I adore. Word life, you are my life. I won't deal with nothing that's strife. We're gonna spend all our time together, me and you, girl, forever. The feelings I'm feeling, it's real in my life. I know you're something special, want you to be my wife. All I need to know is will you treat me right? I wanna make love tonight. The feelings I'm feeling is real in my life. I know you're something special, want you to be my wife. All I need to know is will you treat me right? I'm gonna make love tonight. They want war. Crime babies looking for food. Starvation, the recipe. People subdued. When the people you trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day and every clue. Don't let it go. It's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep. Leaving 7 roads to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a death old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct, and I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink, but I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and I feel we on the break. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die. You voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way they treat indigenous brothers. Cause I understand we link forever. They try to hate us even though that we keep it together. I'm not talking about controlling the air or the weather. I'm talking about maintaining the truth, the high endeavor. A rebel drops bombs in the midst of trouble. The free world counterattack and now there's double. But nature gets the shit in a way that's subtle. If you stop the machines for a minute you might hear, but they won't cause the TV's whisper in the ear. And capitalism has eyes that don't fear, and they cloud up and get crazy and won't steer. And like an ab, it's hard to get an ass to listen. Living like this is like living in prison. It's hard to keep hope when you're living in prison. The spiritual thoughts, so yes, the mental prison. The outside, yes, it's got to get through. Something's gotta die, so something here can live. Your life is nothing if you got nothing to give. Keeping the spiritual, yes, disguised as religion. Controlling your mind, the mental prison. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war.
I traveled the globe just to gain perspective. The theory of relativity applied. Of course, it took a while to decide how I should proceed, but even my life is truly based upon need. So I move forward with more deliberate speed. Smash corny motherfuckers that stuck on greed. My seed is worth more than $1 million in future stock. The goal is to break the safe, the padlock. Mad cats can't stop it, need a rocket. Your style is boring and cold, mine is tropic. Battles you want, commit, you'll change the topic. My partner should get to put your beat in the pocket. So this nigga here can proceed to destroy your stereotypical pop rap gangsta ploy. Not hating on niggas from the ghetto, but I'm hating on copycat rappers from the meadow. They procreate bullshit without paying the price. That's like talking about CeeLo with no dice. I drink milk, but that's about it. I won't compare dairy MCs to dope shit. I want you full undivided in this here place. We think to entertain and to educate your bum ass niggas and your non-believers. You know we change your membrane every time you see us. The odds can't stand when you nigga with ease. The way we get love from the fire.